Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the show where we wax poetic about the movies we watch on a month-to-month basis. It's time to crack open our
Movie Memoirs.
Such an enthusiastic intro, but Dragon, we have some terrible news to get through. Some really rough deaths.
Yep, Tiki went on a vacation, folks, so that means it's open season and people are dead.
I mean, I don't even want to joke about that at this point. Dude.
Well, I mean, it's not just death; it's also other forms of natural disaster.
No, you're right. You're right.
Responsible for when he leaves. So when he leaves us, batten down the hatches, kids, because it's the end times when this man puts on his Hawaiian vacation shirt.
Okay, so in all seriousness, let's get into it. We lost, of course, starting out with Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner. Now, Dragon, man, this was big for a couple reasons. Obviously, Rob Reiner. Look, the only thing I know about him, as far as like, obviously I know his movies, very iconic director, Stand By Me and all that, like a lot of classic 80s and 90s movies. As far as like public persona goes, I'm not going to lie. The only thing I actually knew about him, I got from a fucking like really outdated South Park episode that did not paint the man in a good light. But you know what? I'm not going to let that cloud my judgment here because this was just terrible. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon, but the son murdered both of them, right?
I mean, it hasn't been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but essentially, he's been arrested for it, and they're working on insanity plea. So pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just that alone, man, is just like the shocking kind of like just senselessness of it all. I mean, I'm pretty sure Reiner was retired, but still just the loss of life, the senselessness, loss of talent.
Reiner was still working. He did the Spinal Tap sequel, Tiki.
Oh God, that's right. Oh, I totally forgot about Spinal Tap. No, you're right. Yeah, what am I talking about? He wasn't fucking retired at all.
He did that, and he did the Albert Brooks documentary. He was still cranking stuff out.
Yeah. No. Oh man. Okay. Well, my bad. Yeah. Just really. I mean, that just makes it even. Just the loss of talent, loss of life, obviously him getting killed with his wife as well. I mean, I don't know. What is there to say about it, Dragon? What is there to really say about it? It's just a horrible thing that happened.
Yeah, so again, it certainly was like the tragedy around the holidays. Rob Reiner, of course, he could rest on his laurels just being Mike Stivic from All in the Family, but his work beyond the camera is beyond compare, both from production, from producer capacity as well as a directing and writing capacity. I mean, he formed Castle Rock. Without Castle Rock, we don't have Seinfeld. That's all Rob Reiner. Of course, two of the best Stephen King films, Misery and Stand By Me. This is Spinal Tap. It's on the comedy Mount Rushmore. Again, it was the original mockumentary. Harry Met Sally, again, that is the definitive rom-com. He made so many. You gotta remember, it's unparalleled, just the amount of like back-to-back success.
He was Spielbergian in the way that he could just like leapfrog different genres the way he did.
I mean, he made the ultimate fantasy film with Princess Bride. I mean,
exactly, yeah.
A Few Good Men,
oh my God, no, he really is another Spielberg when you break it down like that, right? I'm not off base to say that.
Yeah, I mean, he's first to admit his worst movie, it's North. He made North, but everything else was gold, though.
North.
Aside from
North.
You know
what? North gave us that great Siskel and Ebert review, so if anything else, it still contributed to society in a meaningful way.
I mean, I always remember Rob Reiner himself. It's so funny because I never associate him with, because All in the Family was just ingratiated into the characters before you realize the people playing the characters. Like, you didn't realize he came from the pedigree of being Carl Reiner's son. And, for me, I mean, I remember like Dickie Roberts, former child star. He was a plot point in that movie. Like, Rob Reiner was like the white whale in that movie. The John Lovitz characters. I'm gonna give Rob Reiner my kidney. It was the whole.
I think you're the only person who has cited Dickie Roberts, former child star, when grieving Rob Reiner.
I know, but that's like he was literally Rob Reiner was a huge part. He was literally like he's the X Factor. We need to get an audition with Rob Reiner. That was the whole X Factor.
We have Eli in the comments. Eli, do you remember Dickie Roberts, former child star? Anyways.
Okay, regardless, the thing I want to hit on though is like the last two things that he did. Again, the Albert Brooks, the Defending My Life documentary with Albert Brooks.
Oh, that was a great documentary. I mean, I could be a little bit hot or cold on like documentaries that are just like, hey, this celebrity was pretty neat, right? But no, that one was really good. That one was excellent.
I still can't say enough nice things about the Albert Brooks documentary, but what was so special about that, it was just a kind of a conversation between the two of them were lifelong friends since like they were teens in high school. They've been friends since in school, and just the fact that what I loved about that Albert Brooks documentary is that it was like a tribute while somebody was still alive, and the fact that he gave that to Albert Brooks, and just the fact that it was the celebration of their friendship, both of them being kind of sons of comedians and everything. It was just really beautiful. And then in conjunction with that, in a very full, so his first movie was Spinal Tap. His last movie ultimately was the Spinal Tap sequel. So he had a very full circle career. I mean, and he would still pop up in things too, like The Bear. He saved the rest. Presumably, we don't know until the next season or probably the last season for The Bear, but I mean, he kind of saved the restaurant. He was the big saving grace. He came in with like, okay, here's a solution, guys.
Oh, I forgot about that. No, you're right, dude. He up until the end, the man was very active. I'm sorry for, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, oh, he's partially retired. I was a fucking idiot for saying that. Thank you for.
I mean, he had a bit of a dry spell, but he'd been picking up in the later years.
Right.
But seriously, Rob Reiner just is ingrained in television and film and just the media, just making people laugh. Something really sweet that they did is during the pandemic, they did like a reading of A Princess Bride, and everyone just kind of reading their parts and everything. And they had the cute thing was like the frame, like the kid and the kid and the grandfather. They had Carl Reiner and Rob Reiner playing he was like in bed like Fred Savage. And his father, Carl Reiner. This is like something they did. I don't know if they recycled it for the pandemic or not. Or Carl Reiner, I think it might have been still around this time. I can't fully recall, but whenever Carl Reiner passed, it was right before. And Carl Reiner played the grandfather at the end, saying "As you wish." It was this beautiful. You can find it on YouTube. It's really adorable, and it was just this sweet little just the impact.
Nice.
Yeah, he'll be missed tremendously. It's a tragedy. It's a shame. It should have happened. It did, but unfortunately, that's life.
All right, next up, another tough one. Just tough as far as the circumstances go. We have James Ransone. Am I saying that right? Ransone?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Could be Ransone. Could be Ransone.
Yeah. This guy, he's a Dragon. I looked him up, but like I'm actually kind of surprised. Like he's very much like I knew him mostly from It.
Yep.
But he's very much a character actor, especially in the horror space. Like I recognize him from a lot of stuff. He's
Black Phone
movies. He's in the Sinister movies, so obviously a big Scott Derrickson guy. So yeah, this guy went out by suicide, which of course is always just you feel the loss even more when it's something like that. And it's, I don't know, man, as someone who's grappled with mental health myself, I'm not saying I'm suicidal. I'm not saying that, but man, I've had my low days. And so just, it really hits you that it's like, it's not about success or fame or anything. It's just about your mental state. And so I'm not going to say that this guy, like, I'm not going to say that he blew me away in anything that he said, but he's a veritable character actor, though. I definitely think he was one of those people that's kind of like disappeared into the roles that he was given. So in that respect, I think he was very talented. But yeah, just, I mean, anytime we lose a celebrity by suicide, it's pretty crushing for me.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, this is, of course, the big one. I'm still not completely over it. We got to talk about Adam the Woo. Now, Dragon, I know that you have a very passing familiarity with Adam, right? Mostly just through me referencing him.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I'll take the lion's share on this one. I have been following Adam for, I mean, I am like a lot of other people, and his death had an effect on like basically an entire generation of people. Dragon, this guy was basically the OG urban explorer and the OG like Disney vlogger on YouTube, all in the same breath, because he would do his urban exploring at Disney. He would do stuff like go into the Wonders of Life Pavilion that was closed in Epcot. He actually got banned from Universal Studios for filming in the old Nickelodeon Studios building. So he started his career doing stuff like that, more of the urban exploring type stuff. But throughout the later part of his career, for a good, like, I don't know, I want to say like 6-7 years at least now, he shifted into doing daily vlog content, which it could be something like him. He lives in Celebration, Florida. He lived in, God, I hate to use the past tense with him. It still hurts. He lived in Celebration, Florida, which is right next to Disney World. So he would have a lot of content that was just like, hey, come with me to Epcot or whatever. But he'd also travel a lot. He did a lot of content regarding like stuff like Route 66, roadside tourist trap stuff. He had a big affinity for that. The first video I actually saw of him was, I wasn't searching for him or anything. I just kind of stumbled across this old roadside attraction that was Bedrock City, which was basically Dragon. It was basically like a very, very cheap trailer park that had some Flintstones themed playground structures on it. Very bizarre tourist attraction there. But yeah, man, Adam just had such a positivity about him. And that's the thing that really hurts with this. He was 51 years old. He had just gotten back from his first trip to Paris. You can watch his vlogs on Disneyland Paris, and he is like so content there. He's so happy there. Dragon, if you go back and watch his last vlog, which it's nothing to do with theme parks. He was at Epcot a couple days before he died, but his last vlog was just him walking around Celebration, Florida, taking in the holiday decorations and everything. A character actor who was dressed up as the Grinch happened to be roaming around Celebration, Florida, so you get some interactions with him. And it's just Adam doing what he does and loving life and being positive and spreading that message. And it's just weird to watch that and think that a few hours later the man would be dead, and he died in his sleep alone. And I could ramble for a long time about this, but all I can say is that like Adam truly left a legacy of positivity, of just, I mean, it's all about following your dream when it comes to Adam. It's all about like, he did not want to live a corporate 9-to-5 job. He wanted to live his life on the road. He wanted to live his life entertaining people, uplifting people. And that's exactly what he did. And even though his life was definitely cut short, and I can't imagine the pain that his friends and family are going through, and even I am emotional about it, like, I'm holding it together, but I mean, I'm tearing up just saying this, but he left a legacy, man. Those daily vlogs, I mean, yeah, he left a legacy. That's all I can say.
Okay.
All right. And yeah, actually, today was actually kind of weird timing because Little Blue says almost 4 hours ago, Adam was finally laid to rest, which is right. His funeral was, in fact, today. So it's just, again, it's just one of those things where it's like you follow a YouTuber for so long, it's Dragon, basically what this would be like. And I don't mean to like put this out into the universe, but essentially for you, this would be like if Captain Logan died.
Oh, but why do you have to put that out in the universe?
Look, I'm not saying I wish death on Cap, obviously. I'm just saying, like,
he's got like 6 kids, man. That's cool.
Look, I am just saying that would be like the gravity that you would feel. Like, you would feel how I am feeling right now if that were to happen. So that I just want to just relay that just as far as like the depths. Like, I mean, it's going to say, like, the thing with Adam is that, like I said, he had like countless hours of footage, of vlogging footage of him just being positive and just taking you on adventures. Like his whole slogan was Adam the Woo goes on adventures for you. And he doesn't even ask his mom. And it's just, so I don't know. I just feel like I lost a friend. I feel like I lost a friend, and I can't imagine what people like Justin Scarred, people like the Carpetbagger, all the different YouTube Disney vloggers, Tim Tracker, the Trackers, fresh baked. I can't imagine what they're going through, knowing him personally. I can't imagine what his parents and sister are going through. Just a horrible thing all around. Horrible thing. All right. I'm sorry. I kind of rambled on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, we've got Peter Green. Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, so not a lot on Peter Green. Peter Green, nostalgically, no, this is so fascinating to me that his two big roles that a lot of people pretty much can identify him with were two big movies, and they're both in the same year. And it's it was Dorian Tyrell in The Mask, the Jim Carrey Mask. He was the bad guy.
Okay.
And the same year, he was also Zed in Pulp Fiction. Zed is dead, babe. That guy. Yeah, the man who violated Ving Rhames. That's
oh God.
But, anyway, but yeah, here's the thing. No one ever Peter Green. I think I always thought was a good actor. I thought he was good in The Mask, and he was kind of underrated. Only in that his performance only could go so far because it's going to be overshadowed by everything Jim Carrey does, and that's not his fault. It's
almost like movie's design.
Yeah, exactly. He was just doing. It was kind of. It's like Ajax in the Deadpool movies. There's a role to fit into. He's going to be the mustache twirler, and I mean, there's layers. If you look at him on his own, that kind of works. And you got to respect that Peter Green. Third act of that movie, he's going full makeup. They're putting makeup. They're making him look like the hulked out version of the Mask. It's he's committing. And he's playing it, kind of like the main story of the film. That then the Mask is going to make a whole lot more interesting. So it's kind of a thankless role, but it is it was appreciated. And I always loved the award scene with him, where the Mask uses his powers, and he gets an award for dying, or like in quotes his big hand up death, and then Terrell's like suddenly in front of like the Academy, and he's like he's kind of caught like, oh, where did they come from? Oh, I'm presenting an award. Something like that.
For sure.
It was just kind of cute. And unfortunately, Peter Green in life, he struggled with around the 90s. He was struggling with kind of a drug problem. So but it sounds like he had gotten better in the later years towards the end. But yeah, there is a question of foul play in his demise. I will say that, but it is not conclusive. But anyway.
All right. Finally, we have Isaiah Whitlock Jr. Now, I looked this guy up. He's a big character actor. I've seen a lot of movies that he's done. Like, I mean, obviously, Goodfellas, 25th Hour, 1408, Enchanted. I mean, the list goes on. He doesn't really stick out that much to me, but I feel like he's one of those actors that just kind of like, in the true character sense of the word, like he just kind of like had his roles and he just sort of blended into them. It seems like Spike Lee was a big his biggest roles were probably Spike Lee movies. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, I mean, he had a main role in The Five Bloods. So
right. Yeah, stuff like that. I actually, Dragon, this is going to sound stupid, but the two movies that I kind of recognize him most from, where I can actually like picture him, are two radically different movies, both set in the woods, ironically enough. Pete's Dragon, the Pete's Dragon remake, and Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, that's right, Cocaine Bear.
So yeah, and he is also voicing seems like a pretty significant character in Hoppers, so that's going to be a posthumous role for him.
Yeah, so Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I was devastated when I saw him, because he's a character actor I did recognize, and I did love when he popped up things. The biggest thing I'd seen him in recent years was he's been on TV. He mostly does a lot of TV work, but he has done films as well. He usually kind of bit parts in big movies, as we've kind of like gone through, but. I always viewed him as he's kind of like the elder statesman of character actors. He brought like the craft and the wisdom with the role, and he could play the comedy, but he could also just be kind of the the smart guy in the room. He played like, of course, people love him from The Wire.
That Richard Jenkins mold of just being just the veritable character actor.
For sure. I mean, the big one from TV, everyone probably knows him from best, is The Wire. He had like a big role in The Wire. But for me, though, Your Honor, he was a really important key supporting character in Your Honor, playing. He was basically Cranston's friend in New Orleans. He was running for. Basically, he was Charlie Figaro. That's what his name was. He was Charlie Figaro in Your Honor, and he was like kind of running for, I forget if it was like mayor or council or something. But he'd been other things too, like he's in the Good Cop, series on Netflix, and he just pops up, and he was wonderful, and he had done voice work for Pixar even before Hoppers. He'd been some of the car stuff. Yeah, so Lightyear was a big one. Like he was announced for Commander Burnside, and for a time, I kind of thought maybe Whitlatcher might not be in Zurg if Burnside turned out to be,
Oh, if only.
Yeah. But seriously though, it was. I was. We were watching later. It's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. And then the fact he's going to be in Hoppers as his last role. It's kind of nice to keep him in the Pixar stuff. I'm looking forward to kind of a send off there. But seriously, just tremendous actor. We're not doing him justice. He's one of the great character actors. Again, in the Jenkins kind of the Jenkins mold, as Tiki put it. But just top tier.
All right, so we're past the death, and now we're on to the death of cinema as we know it, Dragon. Warner, and keep in mind, this is one of those things where like
the ink's not quite dry yet.
These things go on for fucking ever. I remember when Disney bought Fox, it was the same way. It's like, okay, it's not 100% official yet, but fuck it, we're gonna talk about it because it feels pretty much like a done deal.
Like the ink's not dry, and yet they're printing the stationery, so it's kind of hard to tell.
So Warner Brothers, Netflix. This is another thing that I blame my trip on, Dragon.
Yeah, this one's absolutely you, Tiki. This one is all you.
Dragon, I was wanting Comcast to get it so badly, my friend. So badly. Because Comcast owns Universal. I think Universal is they're a really good studio in their own right. Obviously, for me, it's kind of selfishly like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if all the I mean, honestly, I thought it would make sense to because like if you think about it, like a couple of the biggest Universal franchises as far as like stuff that they have in the parks, like Harry Potter is Warner Brothers, and that's the only fucking thing that is in all three of the Universal Orlando parks. So I don't know. It's like from a selfish like theme park geek point of view, I wanted it to be Comcast. With Netflix, Dragon, I'm going to hope for the best. The one thing that I will say with Netflix is that I do think this year has been better than years in the past as far as, releasing their stuff in theaters. Like I saw Train Dreams in theaters. I saw Jay Kelly in theaters. I could have seen Knives Out in theaters. I just didn't have the time because that dropped in theaters like right before my trip. So, like, they aren't huge runs, but, like, for example, Knives Out came out maybe a week before my trip and was in theaters maybe a couple weeks after my trip. So that's, like, a good, 3-4 week run? Like, that's not nothing, That's not like, hey, it's going to be in theaters this weekend and then it's gone. And then Frankenstein was another one they released in theaters. I understand that not everyone is as lucky as it seems that my movie theater is basically jumping on anything that Netflix is releasing theatrically. And I totally get that not everyone is that lucky. I totally get that. I do feel kind of blessed that I was
not everyone's in walking distance to a movie theater either.
This is true too. And I'm very blessed for that as well. But regardless, I have cautious hope that it's not going to affect the theatrical release thing too much. At the same time, just from a sheer artistic point of view, Dragon, it's not good. Like, it's not the good timeline. So what do you think?
I mean, so first off, it's just, to me, it's just a reminder, Zaslav's so effing greedy, man. He's just so greedy. It's the fact that he's like turning down Paramount's offer again and again only because like they offered like a co-CEO-ship instead. Like it's all Zaslav. Like really, man? Like they're pitching you good offers and you just turn them down at a pettiness.
I think out of like the people like Zaslav, Zuckerberg, Bezos, like Zaslav is probably like, as far as like for the greater humanity, he's probably the least offensive, but for the arts, he's probably the most offensive.
I hate Zaslav so much. I can't express it. The man has just destroyed everything I love. He just keeps doing it. He just, anyway, but, even I didn't even technically. I think Paramount has the worst streaming service, so I just
undoubtedly Paramount Plus fucking sucks.
I hate Paramount Plus by the same token though. Paramount just the studio. I mean, it's a good studio. Aside from that, and they're
it's all right. You know where my familiarity with Paramount basically begins and ends, Dragon?
What?
Survivor.
Okay, well there we go. My point is, I mean, look, Paramount has a pedigree, I guess, and the idea, like, they've been putting out good shows and products. The way in which they're distributing them is kind of terrible, but aside from like the method in which they're allowing people to watch them is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But the point being, is, in general, the fact that Zaslav, he's gotten the company, he's done all this damage, and he's selling it for parts the moment he gets it. I just hate this man so much. He's just ruined everything. He's like, they lost the Looney Tunes. They pretty much lost Batman. It's terrible.
Right,
So
right.
I just here's the thing with the Netflix theatrical thing. At the end of the day, I would hope that Netflix will. They've kind of said this blanketly. I don't know what the specifics are. If they're going to stay true to this, they've said they're going to incorporate more of a theatrical release thing as well. I mean, that would make sense. Like, okay, well, we have movies that are big draws for theaters. That's kind of what we need. Maybe we have an excuse to do more of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Netflix, they've I mean, they inherit most of the WB content anyway, and it's just more egg on Zaslav's face of just like he couldn't. I don't understand how he keeps ending up with success despite all the abundant failures, like left and right through animation, through the arts and everything. Is art people hate Zaslav. How is he still coming out of the smell like roses and rich? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, well,
I hope they get him for tax
any
evasion.
response that I have to that genuine question would just be too cynical.
I really hope they get Zaslav for tax evasion. I really do.
Oh, that would be sweet, wouldn't it?
God, it would be the best. Yes. But then he's just going to get the.
I mean, we don't want him to get Me Too'd like Harvey because I don't want people to have gone through that. But yeah,
no, I just want
something that has no victim other than financial shit.
It just hurts his finances. He's fine otherwise. Right. That's all. I mean, here's the problem is he's just going to get the club fed prison. That's all he's going to get. Let's be honest. He's just going to play. Oh, I'm playing tennis at an ungodly hour. Oh, my little weak wrist. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
I signed checks with this wrist. Boo hoo.
Tell us how you really feel, Dragon. Okay.
Hey, he's caused so much damage to animation. I can't even with this.
Oh, I know it.
See, we could have gotten a Freakazoid reboot, and this guy's like Zaslav made it.
You don't have to tell me, my guy. I totally get it.
Anyway.
All right. Okay, next up we go from like terrible news to like, all right, Disney, you gonna Disney. I don't even hate this. I really don't. We're getting a live action Gaston spinoff. Now, here's the thing, Dragon. The reason I don't hate this is specifically because when the live action Beauty and the Beast came out, not gonna lie, I think it's a dumpster fire. Honestly, I think the live action Beauty and the Beast, if you want to be completely honest, that was the end. That was like that signaled like, oh, this is how the live action remakes are going to go. Like, we're not getting any Kenneth Branagh Cinderellas. No, we're just getting like slop. We're just getting like basically just like it set the formula for the current modern live action Disney remake, where it's essentially just like tell the same movie again except more boring and somehow way longer. That's what the template is, and that's what this that's what this is. The only difference is that I actually genuinely liked Luke Evans as Gaston. I thought he was definitely a highlight of the movie for sure. So with that in mind, I'm not going to rush out to theaters to see this thing, but if it gets even decent buzz, I'll probably check it out on the Disney Plus. I don't know. It's not going to break any new ground or anything, but I think it could potentially be entertaining.
I mean, do we know for sure it's Luke Evans?
Do we know for?
Well, that's what I'm asking. When they say spinoff, do they mean like spinoff in the terms of it's a spinoff of the live action?
I assume it would be Luke Evans. I don't know why you just do like another Gaston after Luke.
Well,
Evans.
Cruella. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, but like it hasn't been as long between Cruella and 101.
I mean, by the time this thing comes out, I mean, it's not coming out this year.
Oh,
right?
don't make me feel that old, Trey.
It'll be 10 years by the I don't think it'll be at least 10 years if it comes out like next year.
All right. Well,
my point is, okay, so look, I'm unsure if it's like the Luke Evans one or ground up.
Okay. I mean, Little Blue says Luke Evans will not be Gaston again.
See, I'm thinking it's ground up like Cruella.
Okay, I don't even understand the point of that then. I legitimately
You know
don't.
what's funny? You know what I had? Here's what I bet how it actually got made ultimately. Because remember they announced like a Gaston spin-off like ages ago, or so, there was some talk of it or some chatter. It's like, well, we're out of ideas. Let's do that. But it's been 10 years. Oh, we'll just do a new one. But here's the thing: I was kind of honestly, look, between the two of them, it would make a lot of sense anyways to do like it's just that too much time has passed. Everyone's forgotten. Everyone's trying to scrub the memory of that live action Beauty and the Beast movie. Anyway, even if he was the best part, the damage has been done. It's too late. But a ground up in the Cruella style, I got to be honest. A part of me, my hope would be they can take kind of a Cobra Kai approach to Gaston, where it's like he's the hero of his own story. We have the charm and the bluster of that guy, and I just basically we feed the love in the love to hate aspect of this character, so long as we don't make him like an appealing. Oh, Belle should have given him a chance. As long as we don't walk away with that,
Right,
we can be good.
right. Yeah.
Gaston has charm. He's got a fan base. It's the idea. We get to see all the stuff that led up to the Gaston songs. We get so there's a fun aspect to that character. He again has a friendship with what's his little sidekick's name again?
LeFou.
It is LeFou. Okay, I was going to say
translates to the fool in French.
That's what I'm saying. So LeFou. I mean, there's fun stuff in that movie potentially, especially if it's ground up and they're not like adhering to okay, we have. But in worst case, this would have been with Luke Evans, and people would say, "Oh man, Luke Evans is good." Why? There's a weird. They felt really faithful to that performance, but aside, good work. It's not my go-to, but
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, honestly, like Luke Evans, he wouldn't have been my first choice as a Gaston, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we don't really have time for me to speculate on who would be my choice.
He was really good in that Wonder Woman movie.
I mean, I do think that there are actors out there who could take it on. That's all I'm saying. So, we'll see how it goes. All right. So next up on the docket, okay, Brainiac casting. Dragon, you want to take us through this? I'm not really that familiar with this guy.
Well, neither am I, and that's the point, Tiki. Just real quick. So we have Brainiac casting. It is a guy that no one's ever really heard of, except for people possibly in Germany. So Lars Enninger, he's been cast as Brainiac. The main takeaway here is okay. Without if there was any doubt, Brainiac officially is in the movie. I mean, as we can kind of tell from the Supergirl trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have Brainiac. He doesn't really look. I mean, out of makeup, he does not look like my go-to. I mean, James Gunn must have faith in the guy. That's all we're going off of here. So it's a wait and see.
For sure.
All right.
Right. Dick Van Dyke.
We need good news.
I know, right? Thank God.
Dick Van Dyke, he made it to 100. Thank God.
Wouldn't it have stuck if he didn't?
Don't even say that.
I know.
The point being, Dick Van Dyke, he crossed the milestone. He's looking pretty good, all considered, and yeah, he's thank goodness. Just of all this death, we needed something positive on the other end of the spectrum to come out of it.
All right, so from there we transition from the death of people to the death of any hope I have in the MCU. Dragon, are you as frustrated with this whole fucking bullshit are you as frustrated as I am, my friend? Because I am pretty fucking damn frustrated. I think that Marvel is absolutely dropping the goddamn ball at this thing.
Yeah, it is not good. So the Avengers Doomsday marketing has been kind of a dumpster fire. I'm going to tell you why. So one, linking it to like getting repeat views on the Avatar movie. All right, it's like we learned nothing from X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's what it feels like there. The whole, hey, watch the movie again to get to the post-credit scene where there's a new scene.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But the real problem is it feels like, one, it's ridiculous. The things are getting leaked instantly, and then, then eventually like a week later, like, well, we've kind of given up on the secrecy, so now we're going to officially put it out. Why didn't you just put it out in the first place? Don't you realize it's ridiculous that you're going to try and keep these... It's just for like a window of a week. Just first of all, just release. Well, there's a lot to unpack. First of all, it's a dumb idea the way they're doing it. Secondly, the way they're releasing it makes no sense. It's completely pointless. And third, it would have helped them so much if they rearranged the order of these things. If they had to do this, like they're doing some. From what I understand, Tiki, the way it works, at least the speculative way it's going to work, is that The Super Bowl's more going to get like an actual legit teaser trailer or what have you.
And honestly, by that point, I am going to just be like, whatever, I have
Yeah.
seen it.
Exactly. So that's essentially what the in quotes logic is behind this, like, like they will return, rollout that they're doing, which we already have like all the chairs. Why do we need more teasing?
Okay, that is my big question right there, Dragon. You just hit on it. If they were just going to do this whole like, okay, we're going to reveal the cast members through these cryptic teaser trailers. Great, interesting idea. Why the fuck did we have literally the whole day, Dragon? It was an all-day event.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
It's here's the thing, just with what we've gotten so far, and they keep adding them, man. There's a new one. I don't even want to.
I know there's a Wakanda one now.
I know.
Like, and the pattern is just like it'll get quote unquote leaked, and you know what, Dragon? In this age of like AI trailers and what is that channel that you and I hate, Emergency Awesome?
Yeah,
like,
there's Screen Crush and there's Emergency Awesome.
Right, so it's like I don't even want to look up the leaked trailers because it might just be a fucking fake trailer. I don't know.
I hate it. The point being, just taking like the first three, just for example, okay, doesn't it feel like, now mind, this is before I knew they were going to keep doing this until the Super Bowl, so let's just say maybe the way they should have done it, period, like if we're going to do some stupid build up to an actual trailer, maybe we build as like the last one. We start off with like tease of the X-Men, okay, then the Thor, and then the Captain America. So like we build to the big news. One, I hate that we shouldn't be revealing Captain America's gonna be in the movie like that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that, but just still, it's like, don't you think like the way in which we open on Cap? Really? Why would you open on Cap?
No, that should be the last one, if anything.
But that was the one that made everyone think of all the fakery, because of all the ones that's going to make you think it's fake, it's going to be, I've seen God knows how many stupid AI, or manufactured, like Return of Iron Man, Return of Cap, and it's like, come on, guys. It just keeps getting worse and more embarrassing, and I don't know what they're taking lessons from Sony.
I'm going to see the movie just as a pop culture event, but, like, I'm not excited about it at all.
Yeah.
Anyways, really quick, I am on camera for a reason. Kogia says the X-Men teaser is great. Dragon, what are your thoughts on the X-Men teaser?
It was the best of the bunch, I'll give them that.
My whole thing with the X-Men teaser is that it's basically just people are fucking losing their minds over Cyclops being in the original costume. At this point, I don't care. And that's why I want to come on camera and just look y'all in the eyes and show you how much I do not give a shit if Cyclops is in his original fucking costume. I don't care. It should not be a reason to get all fucking hyped. At this point, Professor X has literally died, at least three times on camera?
3 times, yeah.
I got nothing. The whole thing is just completely botched, Dragon. The whole thing. I mean, I'm sorry, Kogia. I don't mean to call you out in particular. I'm calling out just the fan culture in general of like, oh my god, he's in the comic accurate costume, therefore it's going to be amazing. It's too little too late, guys. It is too little too late.
I mean, it's of the 3, it's the one that actually gave us new stuff. That's why I like it. It's like...
I mean, I'm happy for James Marsden. I'll give you that. I am happy for him. But it's just like, I don't know, man.
Okay, there's one thing to note with all of these things. Just one thing. The only big take. The running thing, as far as I can tell, it's been speculated, and I think all these teasers have pretty much confirmed it. Like, Doom's kidnapping the powered kids.
Yeah, it seems to be that way, right?
That is the vibe I am getting, and that's pretty like the Wakanda thing is like that cinches it. Like, okay, the T'Challa Jr.'s been taken. That's got to be what that is. Okay. Anyway,
again, we've seen Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen reunite multiple times at this point. Multiple times.
Okay, it hasn't been more than one time they reunited. Come on.
I'm just, Drake, it
was one really good time, but I am
so over this. I am so over this. Now, you know what? I will say, Dragon, like, we obviously, oops, crap, sorry. We obviously don't have a trailer for this yet, but I will say I'm looking way more forward to Spider-Man than I am Doomsday at this point. I mean, fucking definitively. Like Spider-Man, you got the Punisher in there, you got Hulk, like it's a potential redemption for Ruffalo Hulk. Like I am way more locked in to see what the Spider-Man movie is going to be like. Like Doomsday feels like the pop culture obligation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
So yeah, that's the most heated I've gotten in quite a while.
So, see, folks, it almost sounds like he cares.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Occasionally. All right. So anyways, we're going to round things off with some trailers here.
Yep.
Okay. Some actual real fucking trailers.
Yeah. Real ones. But don't just say the people are coming back.
It's like, yes, Marvel, we know that Thor is back. Thank you. I mean, is anyone really watching that Thor trailer and being like, hold the phone? Fucking Thor is back?
I think the bigger thing is like, hey, he has a kid. For all the people that avoided Love and Thunder like the plague, there's a kid now. That's it.
I guess. Anyways. And look, again, folks like Kogias, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to like shoot down your fun. I am genuinely happy for you that you can still get stoked about it. I'm just over it. I am just over it.
He said while applying a kick me sign to Kogias' back.
All right, and Kogias, like, you're making decent points where each of these trailers has something interesting going on. Like, yeah, the Thor trailer, it is expressing a lot of passion and emotion. You know what that does give me hope for, Dragon? The Russos do get Thor.
No, right? They're going to do great with Thor. I have no doubt.
Get Thor. So it's like, I am looking forward to it, at the very least, much like how I hope and pray that Hulk gets a rehabilitation in the Spider-Man movie. I'm pretty optimistic that we are going to get that with Thor. So,
all right. Okay, so trailers.
Teddy is on my side. He says there's no way Avengers Doomsday won't be a mess. I'm sorry.
But the real question is, no matter what happens to Avengers Doomsday, are we gonna save it with Secret Wars?
Will it be a fun mess though? All right, yeah, trailers. I'm sorry. The Odyssey. So one thing I will say, Dragon, Matt Damon is always one of those actors where it's like he turns in a good job. He does a good job. I've never been blown away by Matt Damon in pretty much anything. So
what about Dogma?
While the first trailer, leaned very heavily on Bernthal, this leans very heavily on Damon. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling his Odysseus. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really feeling it. That being said, I mean, as far as like scale, production value, cinematography, everything about this movie looks incredible. I mean, it's Nolan doing the Odyssey. Of course, it's going to look great. And a lot of the other cast is promising, but I don't know. It's weird. It's like you have this cast of like really great character actors, and then Matt Damon comes in as like the Hollywood yes man, essentially. I don't think he fits in this cast, Dragon. I really don't.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Nolan seems to put a lot of humanity into Matt Damon. At least that's what he tries to do. Whether he succeeds in it, that's
Dr. Man.
That's what I mean. He kind of, for some reason, he's associated humanity and man with Matt Damon. So that's kind of been his thing. So with that in mind, he must have some plan. He must have some plan with Damon. I have confidence. I think he's going for the everyman you're rooting for to get home, and I think Damon has the capacity to bring that about.
I mean, he did that in The Martian. I'm just not crazy about The Martian.
But I think if anyone can maybe do the perfected version of The Martian, it might be Christopher Nolan.
I don't want the Odyssey to be the perfected version.
I don't mean it's just going to be It's not just going to be that, but I'm saying if you want to evaluate that aspect of it, if anyone can take a better stab at that, I don't know. Can you think of anyone better?
I could
All right,
probably, but I'd have to take some time.
okay, anyway, so finally we have an Odyssey trailer that everybody can watch.
Mhm.
We have Nolan Scale, Gravitas. It's Man's Journey Home. It really feels like some of the themes of Nolan's prior work. It's kind of like Inception was a man's journey back to his family, and it feels like this is kind of the more kind of mythic kind of like
I
Inception might
mean,
have been a
same
one.
thing with Interstellar. That you're right. That is a big theme.
So again, these are kind of like
Even
the
The
one
Dark
up.
Knight Rises to a certain extent.
Well, again, this is the original myth that those stories draw from, so it's very cyclical in that way. So it's kind of interesting that we're kind of going to that well, and everything else has been kind of training for Nolan to tell the perennial story that
Mhm.
follows. We got some money shots and tease of the Cyclops. The thing everyone's wondering is Nolan going to go full tilt with the
I
Cyclops?
mean, it looks like he is. It looks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it looks like he's going there.
Now, if I don't miss my guess, we saw Ares. Ares is Ben Safdie. He's the big kind of he's the poster guy. He's the one with the skeletal kind of like the big blue guy with the skeletal helmet. That's
Uh-huh.
Ares. That's your boy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing gods and stuff, so it's possible.
sure.
All right,
All right.
looks good.
Anyways, Koki says the Odyssey trailer looks okay, a bit too dramatic for my taste.
Also
Teddy's
drunk.
saying, Teddy's saying, okay, hear me out. Nolan slapstick comedy, discuss. I mean, honestly, Dragon, Nolan doing a Naked Gun movie. I don't know. I
I
could
I
I
I
could
I, I,
I
I don't
could
think he has
oddly
the.
see it. I could oddly see it. Anyways,
I don't think so.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's see what's next. We have Disclosure Day. Oh hell yes. Okay, Dragon. I want to make the asterisk here that the last time that I named a Steven Spielberg movie as my number one most anticipated movie of the year, it was fucking Ready Player One. So I genuinely hope that we are more on base with this because I am calling it right now. This is my number one most anticipated movie of the year, hands down. This thing looks incredible. It looks like fucking vintage Spielberg. I don't know, man. I'm on the edge of my seat for this thing. I think the trailer's great. It's really cool to see Spielberg returning to like. We don't know if this is going to be War of the Worlds aliens. We don't know if it's going to be Close Encounters aliens, but I love it. Josh O'Connor in a lead role. Josh O'Connor's having a really good year this year after being a big standout in Challengers. Everything about this just seems super promising to me. I'm really stoked for it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Spielberg's dialing in more on like the hysteria and conspiracy at the heart of revealing alien life versus the
Mhm.
alien life itself. So that'll be interesting. I got to admit, I'm not sure about it yet. I'm not fully convinced yet. I'm not drawn in quite by it.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
I watched it. I was just a little like, I mean, I hope he's going. It's a teaser, mind you. We don't really know anything yet, but I don't know. It's just kind of like it's Spielberg's return to the sci-fi alien movie. So I mean, on principle, it's like intrigue is
I
there.
thought it was a great trailer, but I don't know. That's just me.
Like I'm not saying it wasn't well. I'm not saying it wasn't well executed. I'm just saying, it's just more of like it's a tease of like with alien life is around and we're seeing like I don't know I don't know. I'm just not really giving a lot to chew on there beyond like we have. I like the throwbacky stuff to like it's kind of like his the big car chase from Sugarland Express.
Mhm.
The trail man that was kind of cool. And I mean, I'm sure it's gonna. I don't know. I'm sure it's gonna be good, but there's always the chance it could be the post.
Um, it's not going to be the
I
fucking.
said there's a chance. I didn't say it was going to be. I'm saying that's the risk now. Modern Spielberg, that's your risk. You could be the post. You don't want to. No one wants to be the post.
I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be better than the post. I am
Sure, better than the post. I'm just saying how much better than the post.
right. Anyways, okay. Next we have Gimme Jimmy.
Yeah, so the Jimmy Stewart biopic. What do you think?
Dragon. I'm just gonna say this right now. I am friends with an improv performer who does a really, really good Jimmy Stewart impression as a gag.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this, I love the angle that it's taking on. I love the whole like Jimmy Stewart, like, well, I want to be an American hero for real. Like, I love that it's not just a cradle to the grave story. I really like that it's focusing on a specific point in his life. It's really hard for me to take it seriously just because of that. And I totally acknowledge that that is unfair to the movie. I totally acknowledge that. But for me, it's just like, I hear that impression and I just think like, hot dog! You know, like, I don't know. Totally a me issue. I think it looks good. I think, if anything, it looks a little bit like underwhelming from like a filmmaking point of view. Like, it looks pretty much like just like a by the books, like decent biopic. There's not really any visual flourish there, but all jokes aside, I do think that KJ Apa is doing a really, really good job with the voice. Don't get me wrong, and he is putting passion into it. But it's just, when you have a voice as iconic as Jimmy Stewart's, it's almost impossible for it to not sound like a
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
It's almost impossible for it to not sound like a Saturday Night Live impression. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that we're dialing on this story with Jimmy Stewart. The idea that it was like an uphill battle to be a pilot, during the war, and this is like right before It's a Wonderful Life, which is like the antithesis of what everyone thinks of with Jimmy Stewart. So it's kind of interesting. That's kind of where we're tackling it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I was skeptical when I heard KJ Apa announced for it, but I mean, KJ Apa is good. He was in a show that really jumped off a cliff in terms of quality after the second season, like any CW show. So I mean, look, it looks like he's going to be good in the role, and I don't know, it looks interesting. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters, but I would definitely look into it the moment it hits streaming. I'll tell you that much.
For sure. Okay, and then second, finally, we have Normal. Speaking of Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, Dragon, you want to know my take on this thing?
Sure.
I just want it to be just a fucking, like, I want Bob Odenkirk to play a happy-go-lucky Minnesota sheriff mayor guy and have it just be a fun movie. Why must we go John Wick with this shit, Dragon? Why must we go action movie with it?
A man gave us 6 seasons, like one of the best television shows ever, and you can't let him have his John Wick playtime. Really?
He does have his John Wick playtime. It's called the Nobody franchise.
Let the man make what he wants to make. That's
okay. Look, all I'm saying is that, like, tell me like a Fargo style movie where it's like kind of like a quirky, dark comedy with like Minnesota vibes. Like, that would be way more exciting and interesting to me than just like, oh, here's this Minnesota setting, but we're gonna do an action movie.
Now there is a chance that it could be the Fargo.
Guns, fight, quick cuts, guns.
Look, I don't know how involved Odenkirk is in the writing. If he was involved in the writing, Odenkirk would
shoot, fight. I'm sorry, go ahead.
If Odenkirk was involved in the writing, which I don't know if he is. I'm saying if he were, there would be a very good chance of kind of the Fargo tendencies with the inclusion of actions. It'd be an even balance. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that here. I don't know. I'm interested, man. He's testing the waters in the action genre. He's
mildly curious, but only if it turns out to not be a generic action.
Also, Henry Winkler's going to be in it.
Winkler?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Winkler, but that's not exactly. Oh fuck! Henry Winkler's in this movie.
All the Barry love. Really? Nothing.
I mean, I like Winkler, Dragon, but he's not a reason to be like, oh, never mind if Winkler's in it. All right, I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm sorry.
I just want to be happy Odenkirk's doing a new movie and there's going to be action. And God forbid, let's just move on.
All right. Okay, I actually think we got through that okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into December 2025 movies. All right. Wake Up Dead Man. Dragon, I'll let you give your thoughts on this first.
So So I like that Ryan Johnson. He's doing these ensemble mystery movies. It's like the Clue throwbacks. I think they're fun. It's I don't think we've never really topped the original Knives Out. But I got it. So I like this movie. Of the three, I think it's the weakest, but that's not that. It's not bad though. It's just they have three movies, and the first one's great, the second one's really solid, and this one's just it's good, but maybe not. It's not amazing. And I like that each film's like a different flavor of mystery. We have like Johnson loves satirizing the world and the cynical people of the world, and and kind of like in the writing of the movies. So this one is more religion and politics, light on the politics, more religion, but kind of a religion politics kind of mix. So I don't know. I found myself interested. I mean, Johnson hit the notes that I like in his movies, where I love investing in Father Jed. Is it Father or Pastor?
I think it's Father.
Father Judd. Sorry, not Jed. Father Judd.
Father Judd, Josh O'Connor, who was, one of the big leads in my #1 movie of 2024, Challengers. So what do you think of him?
That's what I'm saying. I thought he was good, and I just like the whole born-again boxer, trying to save the struggling church thing. The grounding element of the film, which is basically you want to care about the person we're trying to exonerate and help solve the mystery. He succeeded there. I'm invested in this guy's plight. I want him to succeed. I love it when Blanc shows up to help him out. Like, these are the elements that are working for me. So I think Johnson's doing, he's making a competent movie there.
Uh-huh.
So, it all pretty much works. I mean, honestly, I just have one criticism. It's that we're lacking that "it's just dumb" moment. We're lacking that memorable other thing the films have, like the kind of the iconic moment, or like at least the thing that'll kind of the memorable.
I do think this movie has that moment. I just think it's a different flavor.
Yeah,
it's not as memeable. I think the moment, or at least this movie's equivalent to that moment, is when Blanc is like, you know what? I can't solve this case.
It's more of a plot thing than it is like it's just dumb.
No, I thought it was a big character thing for him. But I think Blanc, I do think that he has the most character development in this movie. Like, in this movie, he's not a cartoon character as much as he was in the other two movies. Now, Dragon, I want to say, I agree with you on pretty much everything, honestly. Like, I think this is a very good movie. It's the weakest of the Knives Out movies, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie at all. It means it's still very good. My main issue with this movie is just that
Oh, the suspense.
Sorry. Okay, I don't know why sorry, that was, god damn it. I literally told my grandma that I was going to be recording for like 3 hours, and she still feels the need to barge in.
Oh, I thought you were getting water. That's all. I thought he was like, hey, he took it like a really odd moment. They grab a swig of water. It was like,
no, it's like my grandma just fucking burst in my room.
All right. Just tell the folks.
It's the fact that the ensemble just doesn't do it for me. Like, there are particular members of the cast that I really like. Like, for example, obviously Josh O'Connor's great. I think the big four, Dragon, the big four, Josh O'Connor, Daniel Craig continues to be great. Josh Brolin, I think Josh Brolin's kind of on a roll.
He was really good in this movie.
Really good villain. And then Meryl Streep. Maybe, or I'm sorry, not Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep type role, though, you've got to admit.
Well, yeah.
Glenn Close. This might be the best I've ever seen Glenn Close.
I love me some Glenn Close, and she did a really good job on this. I think she and Brolin were the standouts.
That being said, outside of those four, I honestly find all the characters to be forgettable. Like, Renner is in this movie, but he doesn't have much to do. Same with Thomas Hayden Church, who I love from Sideways. Thomas Hayden Church, his role in the actual mystery is pretty big, but like, he doesn't really have much of a screen presence. Like, Jeffrey Wright is only there at the very beginning and the very end. My big issue with this movie compared to the other two movies is that the other two movies very much feel like, all right, this is an ensemble piece. Every single one of these people brings something to the table. Whereas this movie just did not feel like that. And granted, I do think it's interesting. That, like, I think it was a really bold choice to essentially have the whole first act of this movie not have Daniel Craig in it. I think that was a really interesting, bold choice. Like, Josh O'Connor is definitively the main character of this movie. Daniel Craig is definitively a supporting character in this movie. That's bold. I like that they take risks like that. And that's fucking like, it's kind of trademark for Rian Johnson, you know, it subverts expectations. But I don't know. I still think I still think what do you think of the ensemble just being not bad, but just I didn't really think people like Renner, Tom Church, even like Kaylee Spaney, I just didn't think a lot of them had much to do.
I mean, look, Thomas Hayden Church ultimately had a lot to do, but we didn't quite know it. But
right.
So I mean, I thought his role was effective, given what he does, but also he's a good character actor who then had a very.
I also thought the mystery was frankly a little underwhelming.
I mean, yes and no. I think I don't know. I mean, kind of, but
I thought you're not going to top the original. That's the thing. The original had such a rock solid mystery, and the way that like they gave away different parts of the mystery, but then opened the door up to other mysteries. Like that was just solid.
Yeah. I mean, with the ensemble cast, I mean, the guy who plays Sai, I mean, he did such a good job of playing that role because I wanted to punch that guy every second he was on screen. I really.
I mean, I guess that's doing a good job. You're right about that. He's a very punchable character.
That's the thing. Oh boy, I loved. I just want to shout this scene out. I love the scene that is just like Johnson. He just gets it, man. This is where I love the Knives Out movies doing, where we ingratiate ourselves to the to kind of our lead character, where we have Father Judd on the phone with Louise.
That's easily the best scene in the movie. I agree.
And seeing Daniel Craig, his performance is just kind of like taking it in of like he's kind of being sold on the religious kind of importance of this guy.
And no, that's the thing is I do like that Benoit Blanc has a genuine arc in this movie, a genuine like not a crisis of faith, but a crisis of like, I see the good that religion does for people. I see the bad too. This congregation obviously has a little bit of both, but I'm morally kind of grappling with that. And in that respect, I do really like how he kind of steps down from, like, I like his decision of like, you know what, like, morally, I can't be the one to solve this case. Like, I thought that was a really big character moment for him.
Look, in hindsight, it was a really good, yeah.
You're right. It's not as memeable as like,
it's not as catchy. Okay.
It's not nearly as entertaining as that, but from a character point of view, it's really well done.
Yeah. I'm just worried that people are just not going to pass this movie by because of like a lack of something like that, though.
I don't know. I think people are connecting with this movie. I think people are meeting this movie where it's at for the most part. I think people appreciate that it's a different flavor.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Boysenberry. It's the Boysenberry Knives Out.
Hey, I love Boysenberry. Don't you dare. That means it's the best Knives Out trick.
See, that's why you like it. See, there you go.
All right. Okay, but you know what definitively was not the best in the franchise?
What was not the Boysenberry?
Avatar Fire and Ash. This was a big disappointment for me, man. This was a big disappointment.
Oh, really? You mean the very engrossing trailer? It didn't live up to all those expectations you had?
The trailer literally gave away everything. That's the problem.
The very video game-looking trailer gave away. Oh, I'm shocked.
Okay, here's my big issue with this movie. It might go away with a rewatch, but god damn it, it's almost 3.5 hours long. I'm not gonna fucking rewatch this in theaters. But
what about all the Marvel teasers, Tiki? You gotta watch those.
I love how they're doing different Marvel teasers in front of it, like as it goes on its theatrical run. Yeah, that's stupid. Okay, my big issue with this movie is that in so many ways, it just feels like The Way of Water Part 2. That title, Fire and Ash, it's a lie, Dragon. It's a fucking lie. We spend more time in the water than we do in the Way of Water. I mean, we visit the Ash colony for we're maybe there for like 15 minutes, maybe. Like, I mean, I was on board with these Avatar movies on the general thesis that every time we get a new movie, we are going to explore a completely new biome, a completely new setting with new cultures, I think some of the world building in this movie, specifically like when it comes to the religion of Gaia, or I'm sorry, not Gaia, fucking, it's not Gaia. Who is it? It's fucking Gaia. It's Gaia by a different name. You know, the religious elements of this culture are fascinating to me. The actual, like, I think James Cameron did a great job of like building out the world, but my God, I was expecting most of this movie to take place, I'm sorry, in fire and ash in the volcanoes, and it just didn't. And we introduced this villain, this villainous Na'vi, who I was stoked that was going to be like the hook. I was stoked that we no longer were just going to be dealing with the big bad military. But no, Dragon, we're still dealing with the big bad military. Like, the military is in this movie almost more than they are in Way of Water. And basically what happens is that Stephen Lang's character hooks up with the Fire Na'vi villain, and she just basically becomes his girlfriend. And that's it. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Like, the whole second half of the movie, she's just kind of there. She's played by Una Chaplin, Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter. Fucking great performance physically. You can see the Chaplin in her performance, like in her body movements and language and stuff. But the character just has shit to do, man. I don't know, dude. I am going to see the rest of the Avatar movies, but I am no longer excited for Avatar.
That's really, you're gonna keep seeing them?
Yes, Dragon. Just like I'm gonna see Secret. I mean, I'd be lying to myself if I said I wasn't gonna see Doomsday. In spite of as cynical as I am about it, and I'm not as cynical about. Because here's the thing: I do think that from a character point of view, this movie did set up some interesting things. Like, I will say that Stephen Lang is the standout here. I think that his character, his villain arc it went in some really interesting directions. So I'm mostly interested to see what they do with him. I think he's way more interesting than Jake Sully as a protagonist. So yeah, that's where I'll leave it. I mean, visually it's great, but the problem is visually it literally looks exactly like Way of Water. There's no, like, because the difference between Way of Water and the original Avatar was palatable, and this just isn't. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. It didn't really do it for me, unfortunately. Probably one of the bigger disappointments of the year. It's one of those things where I was sitting in the theater and I just kind of had to come to the quiet resolution of like, man, this is not the movie I was hoping it was going to be. All right. So you saw Jay Kelly. I saw this last month in theaters, but you saw it in Netflix, on Netflix. What do you think?
Yeah, I went to Netflix, Tiki.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes. So, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was all right. It's no
nothing earth-shattering.
Yeah, I mean, look, it says Noah Baumbach's new movie with Clooney and Sandler for the kids out there. I like it's kind of a peek behind the curtain of the life of a movie star, and it's ultimately the way I read, especially by the end, it's kind of a tribute to George Clooney in a sense. Kind of like the Burt Reynolds movie, The Last Movie Star, and I kind of like that.
That's honestly like one of my problems with it is that it felt a little bit too self-congratulatory. I honestly think the most interesting parts of this movie were all the parts that didn't involve Jay Kelly.
Well, those I think probably had more substance for sure. I'm just saying
obviously Adam Sandler. Like I mean, when Adam Sandler does drama, the dude just doesn't miss.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. He needs to do more of it and not safety stuff. Other things.
Okay, we'll talk about safety stuff like that. That's just one of those things you and I are just always.
I know we're going to disagree. I think
wavelength on.
I think he was really close to something with Uncut Gems, and the safeties just I don't know.
All right.
The point being, but yes, Adam Sandler doing more dramas would not be a bad idea.
You know who I really liked in this movie? He had a very brief role, but I think he was really effective. Billy Crudup.
Oh yes, Crudup. He was really good.
Like honestly, I could have seen a whole movie just based on that dynamic. Like, he mostly just gets the plot going, but I was really fascinated with his role in the story.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that's the thing. I mean, look, I just like the idea of like the actor looking back. Admittedly, it has more punch with someone like Burt Reynolds than it does with George Clooney. So, admittedly, you're right. That's kind of a bit of a weakness. But in terms of the execution, though, I love the opening of the movie and I love the ending of the movie with that in mind. So, like the opening and the wonder, what we're seeing, and it's like the actor's paranoia. The whole like just one more take idea. I thought that was great. The waterlog set and everything, and just the idea that a man fears, like basically the man fears returning to life versus the false, kind of the false screen life that he can inhabit and has infinite ways, and people always love him and everything. It's kind of love without without the heartache, I guess. And I don't know, I like that. I like kind of getting into the guy's background, the whole, the audition with the Billy Crudup character, the whole eating the Brando picture thing. I thought that was kind of neat. It's there's a lot of stuff in the movie that works, but it's just not as captivating, cohesive as something like Marriage Story, I guess. It's kind of like we have the fragile actor and the manager relationship, which is great, and that's where Adam Sandler shines. The idea that I love the idea that this guy bends over backwards for Jay Kelly, but he's not his friend because he's taken 15%. That's what the dividing line is. And I like that. I wish the movie was a little more about that. That's the thing. I wish it was a little more singular to their dynamic versus just like he factors into his story,
Yeah, I feel that.
Like the Patrick Wilson scene, that was really good, where he breaks up with the Adam Sandler character. We have like the chase with the cyclist, which was kind of fun and almost kind of was a little Wes Anderson like, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
But he's off his meds and everything. I don't know. It's like that. The end screening was pretty good. Just I don't know. It's just the problem with Baumbach is he always tackles a lot of 1% problems, and they're
no, you're absolutely right about that. I honestly think the movie I responded most to with him is the Squid and the Whale way back his first movie. So yeah.
Just that, and he's like a little overstuffed. I mean, if this thing were trimmed to the essentials, I think it'd be really good. That's the thing, because I like what's there. It's just kind of getting through it,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, I guess I'm just gonna go through these three as quickly as I can. Okay. Song Sung Blue, Dragon. Out of these three, this is definitely the one that I think you would enjoy the most.
I almost saw it.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. I wasn't necessarily looking forward to it, but like I'm always going to be into Hugh Jackman doing a musical role. Like that's always going to at least interest me. And Dragon, this is one of the biggest surprises of the year for me. I fucking loved this movie. And I know I'm kind of in the minority of that. Like people like this movie a lot. It's not getting bad reviews at all, but I don't think a lot of people are going to have it in their top 10 like I do. Because I don't know, man. I just thought and here's the thing. I'm going to get a little bit personal with this because it's about Hugh Jackman, Kate Hudson. They play a couple who start a Neil Diamond tribute band. And it's just about kind of like the trials and tribulations of that. There's some really wild shit that happens with them. That is all explained in the documentary, by the way. That it just feels like shit that would be stranger than fiction. It feels like, oh my God. Like when I watched the documentary, I was like, I can't believe that shit actually happened. So yeah, there's some wild turns this movie takes just as far as like the shit that these people go through. This movie appeals to me on two levels. It appeals to me as an amateur performer myself, as an amateur performer who has no illusions that I'm going to ever make it successfully, but I enjoy the craft.
Not a prayer.
Thank you. But this movie does celebrate that, though. It celebrates, like, look, you don't have to be rich and famous. It's about doing what you love, and I really resonated with that. And then also just, like, there's this theater in Petaluma where I would say a good like 70%, 75% of the acts they book are tribute bands. And I always kind of poo-pooed the idea of it. I was always kind of like, you know what? Like, I wish that that theater would book actual bands, that play their own music and stuff. I got to tell you, though, this movie gave me a newfound appreciation for tribute bands. It really did. It kind of let me into their world. There's a great supporting performance by a guy who does his main gig is being a Little Richard impersonator, and he's a great kind of like friend character within the movie. Yeah, I don't know. I really, really like it. Obviously, Hugh Jackman's great. I think Kate Hudson is even better. I think she's pretty phenomenal in the movie. Just all around, I really think this is pretty much like the A Complete Unknown of 2025 for me. As far as like, it's a biopic that's like, I had a feeling I'd like it at least, but I ended up walking away like, man, that movie's gonna stick with me. Honestly, probably even more than A Complete Unknown, because A Complete Unknown, it's like that has like the whole like Bob Dylan thing. I'm a lifelong Bob Dylan fan. Like, my dad played Bob Dylan records for me when I was a little kid, right? So that movie was always going to resonate with me. This, it's kind of like, I feel like the subject matter got to me even more for a subject that I was initially pretty cynical about. So yeah, I mean, that's what a good movie does, man. So I really, really appreciated it. Okay, next up, Marty Supreme. This is not Dragon. You like Uncut Gems? Because this is basically Uncut Gems with ping pong instead of gambling.
Oh boy.
Okay, I do think it's a better movie than Uncut Gems. I really do. I think the thing that separates this from Uncut Gems is the fact that, unlike Uncut Gems, the character actually goes on an arc, and it's like you don't necessarily feel sorry for him. You don't even really feel the humanity in him, but he does go through an arc. He does go through some stuff. Unlike Adam Sandler, where it's like with Adam Sandler, I still think it's an excellent performance from Adam Sandler. No, Dragon does not like the Safdie brothers, Teddy. He does not.
I don't like hate him or anything. I don't personally hate him or anything. Just,
yeah, but you've not liked either of their two movies before.
That's true. I don't care for their movies. I don't hate them personally.
Also, I think it's fair to say Josh Safdie directed this movie. Benny Safdie directed The Smashing Machine. I like The Smashing Machine well enough. I didn't think it was bad, but it's pretty clear that, like, if you're looking for that Uncut Gems, good time, like kinetic, anxiety-inducing flavor, that's Josh Safdie. That's all Josh Safdie. Because this movie didn't feel like it was missing any of that flavor by not having Benny Safdie involved. For better or for worse, I guess. Timothée Chalamet is great, obviously. I mean, he does play a different role than he usually plays, though, because he's very outspoken. He's very arrogant. He's very loudmouthed, which is not really the type of role that Chalamet usually plays, which is really interesting. There's some really great cameos. Penn Jillette has a fucking amazing cameo in this movie, Dragon. He's barely recognizable, but it's amazing.
It's not better than his Toy Story cameo.
Yep. So yeah, my main issue with it is I feel like it owes a lot to Uncut Gems. It basically feels like Uncut Gems Part 2. But I do think it is an overall better and more satisfying narrative than Uncut Gems. I think Marty Mauser as a character is more compelling than Adam Sandler was. Like that I know Adam Sandler's name was Howard in that movie. I can't remember. Howard Ratner? Yeah. He's more compelling than Howard Ratner in Uncut Gems. So I don't know. It's a really, really good movie. I think it's kind of like right now, kind of teetering on the edge of being in my top 10. It's definitely going to be in my top 20. It was super, super watchable, super kinetic. I just feel like the novelty of it is kind of a little bit diluted just because it is doing a lot of the same beats as Uncut Gems. But like I said, as a story, as a character piece, it's a lot more complete. Like, it makes Uncut Gems basically feel like a trial run to what this movie's doing, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, like, we did the Uncut Gems thing, but what if we did the Uncut Gems thing with actual characters that we give a shit about? That's the difference. All right. Okay, and then finally, No Other Choice. This is a Park San-wook movie. I am not familiar with his work, but I am very familiar with his name. He did the original Old Boy Dragon. That's his big claim to fame. Korean filmmaker. Basically, the gist of this movie is that a guy gets laid off of his job that he worked for like 20 years, and he's desperate to get hired in the same field. And so he kind of looks at all the other applicants in his area, and he's like, you know what? I need to take out the competition. So what he does is he starts a job listing, a fake job listing, and he essentially lures these potential competitors to the job that he wants, and bad shit happens with them. I can't really say much more than that because it's a very complex movie. It's a lot more complicated and multi-layered than I thought it would be. I don't think I quite loved it, but I did find it to be very ambitious, like very of the time. It feels a lot like Parasite, but it's definitely got its own flavor going on. I'm not just saying it feels like Parasite because it's another Korean movie. I'm saying it feels like Parasite because it's tackling a similar theme of like how desperate people can get with their finances on the line. I really, really like the plot. I think the plot is really, really interesting, really compelling. I think the characters are just okay. Like, for example, the main character has a daughter who's like an autistic savant with the violin, and that didn't really play a role in the movie at all. If anything, I thought it was like, okay, like why does this character like I don't get the meaning of that. I don't get the significance that had. That's what I'm saying. Like there are certain characters in this movie where it's like, okay, like the script isn't exactly like razor sharp here, but it is still, I mean, from a filmmaking level, the cinematography is excellent. So the score is great, all the good stuff. It's probably going to come, if not win Best International Film at the Oscars, it's probably going to be at least a major player for that. So yeah, that's about it. Like I said, it's hard to talk about the movie just because like there's so much shit that happens that it's like I feel like I'm not even really selling it that well as far as like it's just hard to explain. It's hard to explain. It's one of those foreign films where you just kind of have to watch it. It's hard to really give like an elevator pitch on it because it's so multi-layered and so many twists and turns happen. So yeah, very much a recommend. It's probably going to fall outside of my top 10. It's probably going to be in my top 20. I'm still working on my top 20 though, so so we'll see how that goes. All right, but with that, we are going to go ahead and move on to TV. All right.
Yes.
Pretty big TV month here. So let's get the big one out of the way first, Dragon. Stranger Things season 5. What the fuck was that?
So Stranger Things, long anticipated and dragged out final season. For sure. I mean, look, overall, I thought it was good, or maybe I think
I don't hate it as much as most people on the internet do, but man, it fell off. I think this is easily the worst season.
Well, look, overall, I thought it was good, but I think upon further reflection, it's probably good enough. Honestly, it's really Netflix and the Cobra Kai problem, where they're afraid of the ending and afraid of a show ending, the cash cow drying up and just losing business. So what they do is they have all these subplots and we're stretching things out as much as we can, and it shows.
Yeah, that's the main problem, is that there were just too many characters and not enough of them had significant stuff to do.
I respect the Duffer Brothers trying to go cinematic to end strong, to compensate. Okay, we're 5 seasons. We're working at a differential with the fact that all the time that we've lost out due to the strike and the pandemic and this and that and everything. But it's like in its favor. We actually do stuff with the Wheeler family.
Mhm.
We still shaft the father after we take him out. Like,
Oh my god,
the
the
opening.
father is like barely in the background of the epilogue. It's kind of
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. I mean, I'll give he had this one moment in the whole series where he actually did something worth a crap, and then you know,
Right.
and then it's like no one ever said, "Hey, we got to visit mom and dad." Like, no, just mom. Dad.
No, no, Ted does not even get acknowledged in that equation.
Yeah. So, I got to admit, the young Holly Wheeler, I thought she was good, but she did not need all that screen time though. She was
That's the
I
problem. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
like the stuff we did with her up front. That's great.
Uh-huh.
Everything else we with her, just like the whole like everything with Max and her and everything is like so the whole boiling the story down to like the search for Holly and then Will the Wizard, all that stuff. Like that was good, but it's just we dragged out like Nancy and Jonathan's romance problems. We gave bromance problems to Dustin and Steve, which didn't feel like something we needed to do because of those actors. Now, admittedly, those actors I think are giving really good
It
performance.
did have a really good payoff. You got to admit it had
It had a great payoff, and the
yeah.
performance in in the quibbling is really good. Like when they're arguing and it's coming out like them working like the two of them. Like if there were a bottle episode with the two of them, if the episodes weren't feature length and we actually had a bottle episode, I think that would be really good for them.
Sure, sure.
Their performances were good. I loved Mr. Clark finally.
Yeah. He finally did something. That was
He
cool.
was in on the action. I was pumping my fists in the air, man. Yeah, I even got a nickname.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's great. So the whole delightful Derek humor and all that. How do you feel about
Derek
Derek?
was delightful, though. He
Yeah,
really
I
was.
loved Winona
Derek
Ryder's
was a
take.
surprise hit of the season, man.
I loved Winona Ryder. Just like it's delightful, Derek, sweetheart. Remember, it's delightful. Just being the mom in the action. So,
Okay, I gotta know. I gotta know. Because I think it's the stupidest bullshit in the whole series. What do you think of the coming out scene?
It was
That scene is going to live in infamy, man. It's going to live in fucking infamy.
it was painfully long. I want to be clear. Okay, Noah Schnapp, great actor. I like that kid. He was Charlie Brown in the Peanuts movie. I think he was doing what he could with the material. But having to play to a whole room of people that barely have a connection, most of them barely.
That's the problem. It should have been like Mike, Jonathan, and yeah,
Joyce. Joyce.
Joyce. Yeah. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. It would have been way more effective if it was just those three. Throw in Dustin and Lucas if you.
Debatably the core friend group and the core friend group along with his mom and his brother.
Fucking throw Nancy in there too if you want, if you need to. But yeah, literally fucking Murray Bauman is present. Kali is present.
Okay, Kali shouldn't even. Kali's a whole nother thing too, where that was an addition to the season even before the last episode. I was like, oh man, why is she back?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
We know why she's back. She's there. But I'm just gonna say because she's expendable. I'm gonna say that much.
Okay. On that note, I do get why they didn't kill off any of the core cast members. I get, like, even the teenagers, like, because that rooftop scene with Jonathan, Robin, Nancy, and Steve,
yeah,
that was great. That was maybe one of the most cathartic things in the whole season for me. So I get why you wouldn't kill any of those characters off. I get why you don't want to kill the kids off. I totally get that. Why didn't you, we couldn't give Murray Bauman an awesome hero death?
Yeah, we kind of had him kill somebody off by accident, but maybe he could actually do it like kamikaze.
I mean, that's what I don't get, Dragon. That's what I don't get. It's like, it feels like a wasted opportunity to.
I was worried Mr. Clark was going to die.
I was also, yes.
I thought he was a goner.
If I was a Vegas betting man, he would have been my odds-on favorite to die.
Because that would have been the sacrificial that he inspired their love of science, and he would have been the one to, he told them what a wormhole was,
But no, the show had no fucking balls, no balls whatsoever, Dragon.
Yeah.
As far as who it was willing to kill off, and that was really disappointing.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But you know what though? It's all going to be better because tomorrow, Dragon, tomorrow they are releasing the super secret episode. Have you heard about this?
Wait, wait, what are we talking about?
No, it's not real. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a fan theory.
Oh, well, yeah.
So basically, the internet is convinced that they're going to release a secret 9th episode tomorrow.
Oh, come on!
Do
people not understand what an ending is? Is that what?
No, I hear you. It's utterly fucking absurd. I hear you.
Look, you want to check for a post-credit scene, fine, but come on, a whole secret episode, really?
Look, I couldn't not address it. I couldn't not address it. All right. It's fucking absurd, and it's a whole rabbit hole, my guy. Right, so it's a whole rabbit hole.
Linda Hamilton, I think, was a menacing addition as Dr. K. However,
she was wasted.
Here's the thing. I'm so bothered by the lack of closure with her and the whole pregnancy, the whole psychic pregnancy plot line thing, that whole, that whole thing, that bothers me. That's a big hanging shad of like, well, 11, maybe the work's not done yet. If Dr. K's still around, I'm just saying that. I know that's probably some feed of like, hey, we can come back for a spinoff or something. I don't know.
That being said, I didn't like the fact that the kids do end on kind of like, oh, you farted. But in theory, in spirit, I love the ending.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I don't like that we end out on a fart joke with the kids. I don't like that bit of dialogue, but generally speaking, I fucking love the ending.
With the way the show, with the way the finale went, the climax seems to be very It-inspired.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But appropriately, perhaps. I don't know. Everyone thinks that guy's, what's Skarsgård? No. Yeah, everyone. I know that. So Vecna, I think I'm trying to Bill Skarsgård, right?
Yes, Bill Skarsgård.
Everyone thinks Vecna's Bill Skarsgård anyway, so why not?
Also, apparently, in the play, did you know that there's a play?
What? There's a play? Oh, wait. Actually, wait. I do know there's a play. Yeah.
Yes, and apparently in the play, they get into way more detail about how Vecna is connected to the Mind Flayer and shit, which just comes out of nowhere in the finale.
Yeah, I mean, you could just the guy's covered in the tendrils like the Mind Flayers. I mean, that one's kind of like you could put point A and point B together.
So we haven't seen the Mind Flayer since season 3, and
that's true. We haven't. No, you're not wrong. Anyway, but no, the ending itself, it's more like honestly everything, the epilogue onward, the graduation onward. I mean, the epilogue,
Justin's graduation speech. I hear people like making some plot holes of like, wait a minute, how did Eddie's name get cleared? How did Max graduate when she was in a coma? How did she make up the credits?
Don't you think
that's classic we don't care territory? That is classic we don't care territory.
Don't you think they would cut the coma kid some slack of what the credits? Don't you think?
Like, Dragon, it's not that hard to make up credits in high school. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Anyway, point being, the epilogue and the very end with the kids at the D&D, that was very classy. That bought back a lot of
the original party putting their books back on the shelf.
Yeah. I'm saying, so I think they really, that was kind of their endgame signature moment there. That was pretty good.
All right. Okay, so Pluribus, I am definitely going to watch this, but sell me on it even more.
Tiki, if there's anything I can recommend to you, just any one thing, you got to watch Pluribus, man.
I know I do.
So no doubts, Vince Gilligan. I had no doubts Vince Gilligan would impress. There's a lot of his name carries a lot of cachet now with all the success that he had. So there was always a cushion of like if anyone was unsure, everyone's at least going to try out the first episode. And if they watch that first episode, they get a stunning pilot that ensnares everyone. It ensnares you, man. Mm-hmm. It's realistic and mundane sci-fi. It's not like it's not overblown. It's not underblown. It's just right. It's Ray Seahorn is our lead. She's great. It's the best way. The weird comparison I have for the show and kind of what her character in relation to the show is. It's kind of like Jessica Jones in the midst of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I can see that.
That's kind of what it feels like with, a la the Albuquerque-verse style. So it's grounded. It's things that make sense. It's all the Albuquerque locations that you like, but not limited to them, though. There is a global aspect to this show, but in a way that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Again, it's very it's very timely without spelling it out. Like Vince Gilligan's incentive with this show is like to not spell out what the narrative is and not have like tell people what's going on, to let people kind of form their own, like, you know, if they're watching the show, they're paying attention, they can make their own inferences, they can, you know, kind of decide how they feel about certain things. There's a lot of not ambiguity, but there's a lot of like people can have their own like subjective opinions about the show and what it's about, what it maybe it's like. For example, it's not explicitly like Vince Gilligan himself is very focused with the show because people are making the comparison. He's not poo-pooing the comparison, but it wasn't the intent. It's very anti-AI. The whole show is very on like it's like there's a gag in the credits that says this show is not made by AI or this show is made by people, not computers, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see the parallels. There's very heavy anti-AI parallels, which again is just timely to where we're at now. We're dealing with user-friendly technology and stuff, but again, it's not specifically just that. Like, long and short of it is, it's, you know, we have intelligent life via this mind link kind of collective consciousness. That's kind of how we do it. And there's only like 12 to 13 people unaffected around the globe, and there's like a global cause and effect because of this. If, like, every other person, you know, they're not all dead, they're not all gone, but, you know, their bodies are one single entity that works on, you know, basically it's like an AI of like one specific person that is built from the knowledge, experiences, and collective like memories, consciousness, everything from everyone on the planet. And they're there. Their goal is to make you happy. But Vince Gilligan's kind of outset here is like, if the character is happy, there is no story. So we have a person who's combating happiness, and that's kind of I don't know. I think it's a great premise. And you know, there's a lot of ethical debates in the show. It's just fascinating. It's fun to watch. If I just spell everything out to you, you're not going to want to watch it, but I just think you're going to love it if you watch it.
All right.
You got to watch it, man.
I know. Okay, and then we have It, Welcome to Derry. Definitely not your type of show. Obviously, like, there's some really, really, really intense horror elements to this thing. I will say, though, I really did like the first It movie quite a bit. I didn't really care for the second one as much. I think the second one kind of dropped the ball a little bit. But I honestly feel like that's kind of par for the course with the It story. Everyone kind of agrees that the stuff with the kids is way more compelling than the stuff when the kids are adults. This thing, though, totally felt unnecessary. Totally felt like, why are we even doing this? We're just like we already know what Pennywise is. Dragon, this thing fucking it literally stole Stranger Things lunch money. That's what this thing did. It stole all of the thunder of Stranger Things. Because, I mean, okay, I'm just going to say right now, spoilers for anyone who has not watched the first episode of It, Welcome to Derry yet. So basically, Dragon, the first episode of It, Welcome to Derry, we follow this group of kids, right? And one of their friends goes missing, and they're investigating it. There's some drama between the kids. There's some potential romance, some love triangle bullshit, blah, 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 blah. I'm watching, I'm like, all right, like, I kind of like the 50s setting, but this is a little bit like been there, done that. Dragon, at the end of the first episode, literally all of these children, besides one, gets brutally fucking slaughtered by Pennywise.
Ooh.
And that sets the tone, man. That sets it's honestly one of the all-time great, like, oh shit moments in a TV pilot. It really is. It sets the tone of like,
I love those moments. You have those tone-setting moments,
right? Like okay, like this show is not fucking around, dude. And so basically, the actual main character of the show is the one girl who survives, and she has previous mental health issues, and she's in a room full of children who have been murdered. Like, the character drama there is fucking palatable, and I love it. And I do think that the rest of the characters that get introduced as the show goes on are great as well. I think the scares in this show go so much harder than anything that we saw in the movies. I mean, there is just some genuinely, like, even as early on as like episode 2, episode 3, there is just some gnarly shit. We get the Scatman Crothers character from The Shining in it. Not obviously not played by Scatman Crothers, but he's kind of one of those characters that kind of like floats in and out of the. We do get James Remar. Yes, we do get James Remar. But yeah, the Scatman Crothers character, he's one of those characters that kind of like floats in and out of all the Stephen King mythology, sort of. So there's really interesting world building. The actual backstory stuff with Pennywise is interesting. We get the backstory of Pennywise the clown, and then also the backstory of it, the entity. And it's really, really interesting. The kills are really well done. The scares are really well done. One of the biggest TV surprises of the year for me. I really, really dug it. Obviously not your thing because of the gore. This is one of the hardest horror movie things of the year for sure. All right. Okay, so speaking of hard to watch, Dragon, this is my breaking point of like, I don't want to fucking watch that. So why don't you tell him, Dragon?
So, Sean Combs' The Reckoning.
Yes.
So this was this 4-episode documentary that was made, I believe, by 50 Cent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically, from what I understand, 50 Cent, well, I guess like a lot of people right now, but I think before it was cool, 50 Cent really didn't like P. Diddy.
Right.
So it's kind of the rise and fall of Diddy, and but here's the draw. Here's like the show has me, and then kind of loses me after 2 episodes. It's not so much like it's going on too long. It's just more of like I think the focus is off. They had like a tight focus in the first 2 episodes. So the draw is there's an initial framing device of we're inside Diddy's camp, like people from within who eventually turned on him, like they recorded it on their phones, and you can see like there's like a little ticker or something that says like either 6 hours or 6, I think it's 6 days. It's like 6 days before the arrest warrant or everything's put out, so before it all went belly up for him. It was right before he's in the storm of it. So everyone's scrambling he's like literally telling people like, I need to spin this, he needs to spin it. He's trying to weather the storm and everything. And that's what I'm saying. Like, episode 1, it's, with a lot of like the fallen kind of celebrity kind of documentaries that we have, the first one, we see, the rise of, the rise of Diddy, and then 2 really gets into the interesting, all the rap feuds and everything. And we really see behind the curtain of like, Diddy, before everything else came out, there were other things he was doing that was rather shady. We essentially implicate him more or less in Biggie's death.
Mm-hmm.
More or less. And they say over like financial disputes, which that's the thing no one really associates with him, thinking about, my God, he was really cheap and he really mistreated people. Beyond the other ways he mistreated people that are really bad. Mm-hmm. So, you have some horror stories and him abusing people, and that it's just kind of lost me by the end in like the back half. It just, mind you, I was gravely ill while I was watching the back half. I don't know if that helped or hindered, but it just kind of lost momentum for me. So yeah, I can't fully recommend it, but at least I would recommend it just for curiosity with like how the framing device and things work. But yeah, it's not a strong recommendation.
For sure.
I do think it's hilarious, though. Another reason I watched this, though, is just hearing that the big draw for me to watch it, though. Diddy, he's very upset. He's been making no bones about how upset he is at the documentary. He's like, I'm doing my own documentary. Yeah, kind of thing.
I mean, you see, to me, Dragon, the whole thing is just like, there's so many real-world implications that I can't even say that that's entertaining or funny. It's just he's such a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, Teddy, you're right that they do a really good job of holding back on Pennywise for the first few episodes. You're right about that. Anyways, South Park season 28. I really don't have a lot to say about this. You remember the bullshit that they pulled, Dragon, where it's like halfway through the season, they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna call the last 4 episodes season 27 and the next 4 season 28." So the big thing that they did on South Park this season was that they brought Trump into it. They essentially reused the whole gag of like Saddam Hussein and Satan being gay lovers, only this time it's Trump, but they give Trump exactly the same voice that they gave Saddam Hussein, which I think is really funny. The problem is that like by the end of the season, it's just kind of like at first I thought it was really fresh satire on Trump, just because it was going back into the well of South Park, but doing something that is like classic South Park, like that Trump that Saddam Hussein Satan stuff, like that's from Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. That's from like one of the most iconic pieces of South Park media that there is. But by the end of the season, it just kind of devolves into like, oh, okay, yeah, you're making fun of Trump. Yep, you're sure making fun of Trump. I don't know. There's a couple standout episodes, but I thought the finale was a little bit of a mess just because they build up all these different plot lines, and South Park is one of those shows where like they've been in a really weird spot. I don't think that South Park ever really jumped the shark or got actively bad, but the closest they've come to getting actively bad is when they try and serialize it too much. And this, especially the second half of the season, it very much was too serialized. To the point where, like, in the last episode, like, they're bringing back, like, fan favorite characters. Like, they brought back the goddamn woodland critters from Woodland Critter Christmas. Dragon, you're probably not familiar with who the fuck they are or why it's significant. But let me just say, Woodland Critter Christmas, one of my all-time favorite South Park episodes. And the Woodland Critters do fuck all. They're literally introduced back into the story just because it's like, hey, fan service. It's fucking member berries. It's member berries from the people who literally invented the term member berries. So yeah, not a great season of South Park. I found the Trump stuff really funny at first, but it kind of wore on everyone as it went on. However, the end of the season does kind of promise like, hey, by the way, we're kind of not going to do serialization anymore. So hopefully that sticks. I am excited to see what they do next. We never did get that untitled Trey Parker movie featuring Kendrick Lamar, which was my number one most anticipated movie in 2025. So we'll have to see what's up with that.
That kind of serves you right for, on that one, like the untitled.
That was dumb. That was dumb of me. And you know what? For that reason, I think we're just not going to do a most anticipated anymore because it's just like, I don't know. There's so many movies that come out that you have no idea. Like, it just seems like a pointless exercise at this point.
Yeah, at the very least, maybe don't go with the ones that are untitled. You know.
Right. Yeah, Teddy. I think one of the best South Park episodes, like to speak on what you're saying about the 2 and 3 parters, like Imagination Land was fantastic, and that was a 3-parter. So yeah, I agree. Like 2 3-parters are fine. Just the whole season, it just gets to be a little grating. Anyways, so yeah, that was South Park. All right, Selling Superman.
This one's a strong recommendation, Tiki. This is a better documentary. Okay, this is a 4-episode docuseries. Does not lose momentum at all. I love this.
Where can I find it?
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, so Darren Watts. This is about a young man by the name of Darren Watts. His father passes away, and basically they discover kind of a family secret the guy's kind of withheld for 40 plus years, where basically the man has stockpiled rare comics through the ages, like multiple copies of rare comics as well. Due to basically he had at the time it was kind of undiagnosed Asperger's, so and they get into this as well, not the warm or fuzziest father, and that was kind of a thing that they had, like it was like, you can never please father kind of thing. And he was very protective. Like he knew we had like a holy grail, and he was very like secretive about the comics and everything. So it was this whole like it really caused schism within the family. So again, the son kind of acquires kind of this financial windfall, and he's exploring the world of comics and collecting, because they were Superman fans growing up and everything. In fact, they inherited Superman #1, or like debatably the best pristine copy of Superman #1 it's out there. So it's a very engrossing documentary. It explores the high grade collecting world, which I'm aware of, but it's like high grade collecting that'll drive you off your rocker, which is what this guy's contending with. So it's palpable, man. Like I've never told you about the whole like how far people can really take it, and this is kind of like taking the convention thing. They actually walk the floor of the convention, so you should watch it even more. So you get to see what it's like to walk the San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay. for sure.
So it's so this guy is dealing with a lot of stresses, both in the financial world, but also just like the internal stresses of dealing with kind of like the lurch that his father kind of left him in, and all the other stuff there. And I just feel bad for this poor Darren guy. Each episode there's kind of like a big twist, like from the get-go. Like the documentary opens on like Darren like interview talking with the director and basically saying, I regret doing this whole documentary. So the intrigue is there. Like, yes, oh man, this was a really good watch. And this is how I ended out the new year. Ended out the old year and getting into the new year. So it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check it out. All right, Superman, the animated series, season 1. Basically, if you guys want my extended thoughts on it, you can go ahead and watch the Fortress of Recaps. But suffice to say, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I really think that this is a fresh spin on Superman. I mean, obviously, I've seen various episodes of this show over the years. I'm not entirely unfamiliar with it, but it's really cool to watch it from the beginning. I really think that they're nailing the side characters. I really, really like this Lois Lane a lot. Obviously, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor is a big highlight. But some of the other like minor villains are intriguing as well. Not Mala, though.
No.
Mala's in season 2, but she wasn't.
Yeah, you can't hold that against the first season.
I know. I couldn't resist. I don't hate
Technically, it. I could, because my experience was like it cuts off about 2 episodes from where we left off. That's just me.
So yeah, I not much to say. Just all around, very, very solid season TV.
All
right.
There we go.
Okay, next up we are in Ketchup. Okay, Santa Claus the movie. What do you have to say about it?
Well, yeah. So it's never a movie I was eager to get to, but for 40 years it kind of deserved a proper look through. But I tell you, man, ultimately it's the Salkinds' attempt to turn Santa Claus into Superman. I love the production values, I love the performances, but it's 2 movies. It's 2 movies crammed together. That is where the movie kind of falls apart. I appreciate it, but it's not a Christmas classic for a reason. It's so close, though. That's when
it's frustrating, yeah, because there are really, really great elements of it. The production design is so on point.
It's gorgeous, and in 4K years later, when they like put it on the streaming service, it's gorgeous. But I mean, I love seeing the Santa Claus mythology build. I love seeing him with the "We're Back, the Dinosaur Story" kids. I just, John Lithgow, he's a very over the top, very funny. It's just, it's so close to coming together, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
The
best part was definitely that first act, the actual like Santa Claus origin story stuff. Like that very much feels like Santa Claus by way of Richard Donner, which this pretty much is.
Yeah.
All right.
He dies for our sins, man. He dies for our Christmas cheer.
Okay, you know who else died for our sins?
Who died for our sins, Tiki?
Mike Myers' career.
That's true.
Just go along with that. So I watched...
His crucifix is 2 hockey sticks, though. Go on.
Oh, God. So I watched the live-action Cat in the Hat.
I'm surprised you've never seen this before.
No, I never did get around to actually watching it. Here's the thing, Dragon. On my Universal trip, the Cat in the Hat Dark Ride was a big hit with my mom and I, just because we kind of appreciated the creepy factor of it. Like, if you go on that ride, and you pay attention to, like, how sunk in the eyes of the cat animatronics are, it legitimately becomes terrifying. Like, the design of the Cat in the Hat animatronics in that ride are legitimately, like, unfucking settling. And so I was like, you know what? I'm kind of in a Cat in the Hat mode. Like, let's watch this. I mean, here's the thing. Like, as a piece of Dr. Seuss media, it's obviously trash. But as a piece of, like, surrealist stoner comedy, it's amazing. I had a ball with this movie, Dragon. I had a fucking ball.
There's one really funny. There are 2 funny jokes in the Cat in the Hat movie that I like. Okay, one, it's just it's so random. It doesn't belong in the movie, but it's just funny, like taking it by itself. The Cupcakeinator, like the whole like it had like almost like an infomercial thing. The whole like
Yes, yes, yes.
anything, that whole. I'm not saying we're gonna sue, but we have a case. That's funny. So that whole Cupcakeinator,
I mean, just the fact that the Cat in the Hat is like legitimately like this kind of like legal sort of like
very litigious.
yeah, like I don't know. Of course, I love the whole like, yeah, this does feel like a ride, like at Universal Studios.
That was the other joke. That was the other one. Yes, it's still Universal Studios.
Fucking picks up the brochure with Revenge
God.
of the Mummy on it, which was the new ride at the time.
Yep.
Like obviously I got a little high before watching this. Are you really fucking surprised?
I thought you stopped that.
No.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I mean, I like not entirely. I don't do it as much as I used to, but
Still, man,
like
when I watch, man, he's gotten clean.
When I watch shit like this, I gotta.
Well, no, you don't have to. Maybe just watch it. Stone Silver.
That would be pointless. All right, look, I had a ball with this movie, but obviously, as a representation of Dr. Seuss, it's complete and utter fucking dog shit. But I don't really care because it's so absurd and weird. And you know what? It does have genuinely good production design. You got to admit that.
That's all thanks to Bo Welsh, though. That's Burton's guy.
Right. All right.
Did you ever hear the? You saw the essay on the Cat in the Hat, right? The Yesterworld did.
Oh yes, that was a really good.
He did a really good job on that. And the whole thing about how Mike Myers kind of like that was kind of his punishment doing that movie.
Absolutely,
because he screwed him on Austin Powers. All right. Okay, let me tell you about Roofman.
I saw Roofman. I liked it a lot.
Oh,
not
right.
a lot, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Right. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one. It's I remember I'd hoped to get out to see it. It was not in the cards. I thought it was a quality biopic. I thought it was an interesting enough story. It's not like the average biopic kind of thing you'd see. I love the idea of like the gentleman, the John Dillinger criminal, which is kind of what we had here. So a very friendly guy who didn't hurt anyone. All he did was, he's robbed McDonald's and then he hides out in Toys R Us. And it's just, of course, the movie's very timely. And I love that essentially this movie has seemingly revived Toys R Us, by the way. I don't know if you heard about this.
I heard something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they've revived at least. I think I don't know if it's like how statewide it is, but like at least the Toys R Us location, like one per state or something. At least they're coming back slowly but surely. Like there's one, my neck of the woods. It's far out, but it's like there's one singular. And they're I just love the idea of like a survival story in plain sight like this. It kind of takes me back to what I love about The Terminal. They kind of like the mundane survival.
It is very Terminal-esque. I think it's a better Terminal.
Well, there's no Tucci, but
Yeah, I know, but we got the Dink though. We
do.
Dink.
Don't call him the Dink. That's funny, but that's bad. I mean, he's kind of brought it on himself with all the Snow White stuff. But aside now, he was great in that. He was great in the new Dexter show and Dexter Resurrection.
I still need to see that. It's just speaking of Paramount Plus being shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, so the point I thought Channing Tatum, as the character, he was very likable. He falls in love. There's kind of I really liked the movies. We had the Albuquerque verse kind of like philosophy of criminality with the Lakeith Stanfield character, which was really good. The whole thing of like, basically when the chips are down, do you run no matter the cost? Like that's the mark of really a criminal versus a guy who like would throw himself in. It's kind of that's the fine line he's trying to traverse, and we see the difficulties and all that. So I think we took a core story, news article, and we really dived into and really found that there's a story at the heart of it, like you can really expand upon. I think they hit that really well. So I enjoyed Roofman.
For sure. Yeah, it was solid. I think if I had one critique, I think like I like Kristen Dunst in it. I think that maybe a little bit too much focus was placed on her. Like, she had a good role. I just kind of think, like, okay, like, maybe they overdid it a little bit. Especially because I don't really think they did a good job of explaining, like, yeah, he's into this woman, but what about the man's wife, though? Like, that was a little odd to me. I'm not going to lie. That was a little odd.
What do you mean the man's wife?
Like, the guy's actual wife. Like,
oh, you mean the Channing Tatum character's actual wife?
Yes.
Well, again, he burned that bridge. You can't go back.
No, I realize that, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe
plus they're kind of divorced while he was in prison too. So
maybe there should have been a little bit more like guilt about him moving on so quickly. I don't know.
I know it's been a few years, Tiki. He gets arrested in like '98, and the movie takes place like 2004. I think he's had time.
Yeah, fair. Anyways.
Anywho.
Okay, so let's see. We got Hamnet. Oh God. Dragon, I resent the fuck out of this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's really not. It's just, it is not my type of movie at all. So basically, Dragon, oh God, this is going to sound fucking so bad. This is going to sound
worse than the Dink?
William Shakespeare's son is dead, and it's so sad, and we're going to spend the whole movie just being sad, and the movie's just all about grief and sadness. But then William Shakespeare writes Hamlet, and it's cathartic, but it's so sad.
Well, that does really sound bad.
Dragon, this movie is like the definition of an art house movie that loves the smell of its own farts. Peregrine calls it a masterpiece.
Well, of course he does.
It's probably going to win a lot of Oscars. Jessie Buckley is really good in it as Shakespeare's wife. But she does do that type of acting where she's basically just being over the top sad the whole time. And it's, for me, it's just a movie that it wore me down more than anything else, dude. I just did not resonate with it. I was really trying. By the way, this is directed by Chloe Zhao, importantly, from Eternals, Nomadland.
Yeah, no, that explains the way the movie turned out.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, I mean, I think out of any major Oscar type movie that came out this year, this is the one that I feel the biggest disconnect on, my friend. I do not get it. I get it I get it as far as it being Oscar bait. I don't get how anyone can watch this and think it's anything other than fucking just sheer blatant Oscar bait. That's exactly what this movie is, and I did not respond to it. I'm sorry.
Here, Oscar, here, Oscar.
Right?
Oscar.
I don't know. I mean, call me crazy, but I don't think the idea of watching 2 hours of Jessie Buckley being miserable about her son dying is a fucking good time at the movie theater. William Shakespeare's son is dead.
Okay.
Sad.
I wouldn't put that one in the act.
All right. Anyways. Okay, so Predators. I thought Predators was okay. What do you think?
Wait, so you did see Predators?
Yeah, I saw Predators.
Okay, now you're talking about Predators Badland, right?
Oh.
See, that's the disc. No, you.
Okay, so Predators, that's the one with Lawrence Fishburne, Adrian Brody, right?
No, still no.
Are you sure?
I saw the movie.
Okay, what is Predators? Is it the one with the Native American one?
No.
Okay, what is it?
Would you let me tell folks?
Sure.
Predators. It's a documentary about To Catch a Predator.
Oh, right. And this is another one where it's sounds interesting, but I don't think I have the stomach for it.
Let me put it to you this way: this one I would recommend far more than the Sean Combs one. All right, this one's a lot more interesting.
Well, I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah. Well, still, I'm just saying this one. This one was an actual. This one's I could see this being nominated in terms of this was a good documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Won't, but I could see it.
It
But
won't, because it's like, hey, To Catch a Predator was a TV show. We
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
nominate anything that has any sort of a tie to the entertainment industry.
This was someone actually making a good faith effort. I want to make a movie so good it actually could get nominated, and I respect that.
Mhm.
You know, he actually put effort. Okay, so it's about the phenomenon that was To Catch a Predator, and they sit down with Chris Hansen, they talk to him, and I thought this was expertly put together. I really do. The filmmaker has kind of a relationship to the mission of the show, and that really it's a real personal story for him. And it's basically it's really the theme of like starting out with a noble intention that then it's like Icarus. You fly too close to the sun with
I have
fame. And
heard
all
this about To Catch a Predator. I have heard that they did run into some controversy like later on down the line.
and they get into that in the
Uh-huh.
documentary. So that's the thing too, is that this documentary's been getting really good buzz, by the way, in terms of like reviews and stuff. People really like it.
Mhm.
So it's basically like when you fly too close to the sun with the fame and the corrupt, and basically that corrupts the intent of what the original mission statement was, where you're doing things more so to get like attention and ratings at risk of like what the pure intent was. So here's the bit I was kind of hinting to you at last time I told you about this. So the opening of this movie is haunting. It's kind of a flashback almost to it summarizes, you know, how To Catch a Predator worked. It kind of summarize, in case you had never seen To Catch a Predator, the opening of the movie basically it uses archival footage and everything, and basically shows you like behind the scenes clips and stuff from the show that shows you how they put this thing operation together. It's a 3-camera thing, and this pays off perfectly to the end of the movie. It's this 3-camera kind of setup that they do.
Mm.
And it basically just kind of gives you like the premise, but it like gives you the full experience of you, the audience member, like you're hearing thing, you're fearing for the child, and then you have the grand reveal of oh thank goodness, no one was actually in danger. It was a sting operation. And then you're kind of drawn like, okay, where do we go from there? You know, that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it really summarized it so well. I was really impressed by that in the opening because it made your skin crawl, and then like it give you the sigh of relief. It gave you the experience of that whole show in like 5 minutes.
Sure, nice.
So it covers the history of the show, the rise, the big controversy that really kind of basically was resulted in the end of To Catch Predator, and then we cover the imitators, the people, the culture that To Catch Predator kind of led to, all the YouTube culture, people who tried to replicate it. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those, like the guys who, like they slap the bad people.
Yeah, I have seen some of that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They cover a little bit of that. They sit down with Hansen. I'm going to say this, has a very effective ending. Like one of those documentary ends, like, oh my God, that's what you want, a really good documentary. The way it ends, like, yeah, they said everything they needed to without saying a word. Like, yeah.
It's nice.
It was a solid documentary, man.
Cool. All right. Sentimental value. This is another movie that's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. And I thought it was better than Hamnet, but I still didn't really love it. It's a lot like Jay Kelly in the sense that like it's celebrating a fictional, very, very successful person who's kind of like at the end of his career in Hollywood. This time it's a director, not an actor. And I don't know, man. It's like with stories like that, stories like Jay Kelly, for me, it's like there's always sort of like a little bit of a pompous sort of like, hey, we're Hollywood. Aren't we great? It's a disconnect, man. It's a disconnect for me. But there is some interesting stuff going on here. It's funny because I think Jay Kelly is like more watchable as far as just like, I think it's probably got better editing. And I mean, like, frankly, from just like a pure like normie perspective, this is subtitled and Jay Kelly is in English. I'm not saying that bothered me. I'm just saying Jay Kelly's more accessible to like, people who are thrown off by subtitles. But the big reason to see this is Stellan Skarsgård, who plays said director who's at the end of his career. Basically, Stellan Skarsgård's character, he had this great career, but much like Jay Kelly in that movie, and again, I actually just now realized that that's another parallel this has to Jay Kelly, is that it's all about him trying to reconnect with his daughters because he lost so much time with his daughters pursuing his career. So no, fuck it. This movie and Jay Kelly are very similar to each other. Very similar to each other. I think the daughters in this movie are much more compelling than George Clooney's daughter character in Jay Kelly is. And they're honestly the main characters of the film. They're kind of the focal point of the film. The performances are great. You have one who's like much more outwardly bitter towards the father, but then the real standout performance, I think, is the other sister who's a little bit more outwardly forgiving, but she has a moment with him where basically like the father asks her if her son can be in the new movie that she's making. And she's just like, are you fucking kidding me? No, I am not going to exploit my child like that. Get the fuck out of here. So she has a great moment. Another really, really interesting performance in this is actually Elle Fanning, who plays, she plays the American actress who this director hires on to be the lead. And so that's an interesting dynamic because you've got an American character, obviously speaks in English and everything, who's thrown into this Swedish family. She's essentially playing a role that's written for the daughter who can't stand the guy. And she obviously is like, fuck no, I'm not working for you. I'm not going to be in this movie. What the fuck are you talking? Obviously, there's a lot less profanity in the movie than what I'm saying. But
I would hope so.
But no, so, you know, Elle Fanning, she's kind of grappling with like, okay, like, am I, like, I don't even speak the language. Like, what am I doing? It's a really interesting exploration on like acting and kind of like the imposter syndrome that comes with it. Like, honestly, I think the movie would have been a bit more interesting if Elle Fanning was the main character. She's kind of on the sidelines a little bit. She's the most interesting part though. Yeah, I just, like I said, I feel like probably like from a thematic point of view, this film has some lustier ambitions than Jay Kelly, which really is just kind of like a pat on the back to George Clooney. But I do think Jay Kelly is the more watchable of the two. It's the more outwardly entertaining of the two. But really, the two movies just they go so hand in hand together. It's almost eerie. It's almost like a volcano. It's like the volcano and Dante's Peak of art house indie movies, Dragon. All right. Anyways, so yeah. Okay, so Aztec Batman.
Clash of Empires. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, sometimes
I'm curious how this turned out because I was kind of curious about the premise of it when I saw the trailer.
So, I mean, look, it's sometimes you know, you got to test the adaptability of Batman. You know, it's a healthy thing to do, and you know, we've seen it a few times. I mean, this is more of like, you can always look at under the guys like the Elseworlds thing, where, you know, we're seeing like it's a completely separate from what you usually associate Batman with. We have some of the iconography in there, and usually that's the main carrier. But that's kind of the case of what we have here. You know, I appreciate the work that went into this, and it looks great. The animation's really solid. I mean, it's a neat little movie. You know, I like the idea that we've basically mixed, you know, the Aztec, you know, Cortez story, and basically what the premise of El Dorado is. The idea that, you know, the Cortez shows up, and he's, you know, had Miguel Antilio not shown up in El Dorado, Cortez would have shown up, and he would have been mistaken for a god. Only there would be less Elton John songs. So that's essentially
that Elton John musical. What if there were Elton John songs in that equation?
That'd be horrific, because he slaughtered those people.
I know, but what if he slaughtered those people to Elton John songs?
Yeah, just like that's. Well, you could have still kept "Friends Never Say Goodbye," I guess. Anyway. But yeah, so basically it's like, what if we took the kind of that basis as like the impetus for a Batman? Like, what if the inciting incident that kind of spawned a Batman was like, you know, Cortez needed to be stopped, and the Batman kind of rose out from there. And basically we associate a lot of our iconography with, you know, the Aztec gods. Like, there's a bat god, which is kind of where we get like the omen of the bat from. Catwoman has like a panther goddess. We have Joker and Two-Face in this. Two-Face, well, if you ever watch it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but Two-Face comes about. Joker is dement. The way we do Joker is very memorable and very demented. It's obviously it's not the traditional thing, but it's, you know, it's the way in which he's brought about is like, wow, that's I think he was like a priestess or like a high priest or something that kind of went. He's basically what if Jekyll Khan went completely off the reservation.
Right.
I mean, here's the thing. I thought it was good. I think there are elements of it that were neat, but it's kind of a twofold problem. One, I think it dragged, and I think that kind of lost me a little bit. It's not a long movie.
Uh-huh.
It's a little bit, and admittedly too, I was not in the best headspace when I was watching. Again, I was gravely ill. I was kind of watching it to kind of distract myself and kind of heal up. So I don't want to judge it harshly because of that. Maybe it was a little
You
better
know
than
what? I
expected.
will say I should add the caveat to Hamnet where that was the first movie that I watched after my trip, and I was still kind of like recovering from the jet lag and everything. So that if I watched, I should give Hamnet another chance just under those different circumstances. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But ultimately, I think the main thing is that it's always the risk of not using Bruce Wayne as Batman. It's not saying it hasn't been done before. Batman Beyond, great success, But sometimes, when you just do the complete replacement of like, there's no Bruce Wayne as your Batman. There's a question of why do I care?
Mm,
And I think there's a good story here, what we have presented, but it's not the same, and you kind of feel it.
right,
All
right, right.
right.
Okay. So Song Blue, the documentary. This will go by really quick.
Where did you find this?
YouTube actually.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Good.
Just type in Song Blue documentary, it'll pop right
Yeah,
up.
good.
So yeah, I mean my main takeaway from this was I do think it's interesting that the timeline of the movie, I think technically the timeline of the movie tries to stay close to what this is. But when you watch this, you're obviously seeing the people like age in real time because it's all like home video footage and stuff. And so you get much more of that picture of people like actually aging and the years actually passing. It feels like much bigger in scope as far as the timeline goes. Also, I'm sorry, Hugh. I fucking love you, my guy. You look nothing like the actual guy in this documentary. Like, it's honestly kind of laughable how much this guy does not look like Hugh Jackman. And honestly, Kate Hudson too. Like they very much prettied these characters up. They prettied these characters up for Hollywood for sure. That being said, I mean the documentary is a very, very, very intimate look at these people's personal lives. Like I said, Dragon, there is some shocking shit that goes down. Like one thing that happens, like that basically gets revealed right at the start of the documentary. That's a really good hook, where you're like, oh my god, like I can't believe that actually happened. Um, it's very fly on the wall, and honestly, there's a lot of just like kind of like like domestic squabbling between the two. I think out of the two movies, this isn't like a Dogtown and Z Boys / Lords of Dogtown situation where I think Lords of Dogtown is by far the inferior movie of the two. I think the movie, I think the Hugh Jackman movie is by far the better product out of the two. This is still good though. It's still interesting, and it's still very much kind of a celebration of living your passion and art for art's sake and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch if the premise of Song Sung Blue has you intrigued at all. It's a good supplemental watch for sure. Although it's interesting because this came out in like I think like I want to say 2008 or something like that. So it took Hollywood a while to get around to it. So yeah,
Movies take time.
yeah. And apparently, honestly, watching the movie, I can kind of see why, because I do think that the movie does Hollywoodize things a little bit. It kind of makes things a little squeaky clean compared to what it was like in real life. The family is not happy with the movie Dragon, apparently. The
Oh,
family is not.
really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hmm.
And to me, it's just like, I just kind of got to take that as like, you know what? The movie did its job, and the performances are great, and it was inspiring, and I understand if you're the real people and you see it and it's like your life story just kind of like very sugar coated. I understand, I get it, but for me personally, who has no stake in that, it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the movie. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. So, lastly, for me, Life of Chuck.
I'm really curious to see what you think of this.
Yeah, I was anticipating this one.
Um,
So yeah, this is from the soon-to-be Clayface director, Mike
yeah,
Flanagan, right?
And Mike Flanagan's done a lot of other shit too, but yes, soon
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
he also did the Shining sequel, didn't he?
He did that. He did Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass. Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I was impressed by this. I didn't appreciate Act One until later in the movie. We're all tied together. Man, it was going somewhere. I wasn't quite sure, but I think we tied it up very nicely. It's based on a Stephen King book, but
Mhm.
it's one of the more chipper Stephen King books.
It's still got a lot of existential
It
dread in
does. It has. I was in fact, it's
in
more
that first part.
in fact, it's existential horror versus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But Ben, I thought it was a very pleasant Stephen King work all overall compared to how dark his stuff can go. I love the whole examination of the multitudes thing. That the 3 act structure was, I thought, really solid. I love
Mhm.
how the third act is probably my favorite. I love Mark Hamill's performance
I
so
mean,
much.
yeah, I think the third act it's got to be the best one just because of Hamill. Hamill
It
just
really the
show.
Act 3 really got me emotionally, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
man, they knew
That
what they
moment right after the dance where he's just like dancing on the bleachers and shit.
yeah. I felt an emotional investment. I got to reward
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was
I do think it's funny how Tom Hardy, or I'm sorry, not Tom Hardy, Tom Hiddleston was advertised as like the main character, but really his role in it is basically like just a dance scene, and that's kind of it.
but
It's a
that's the
great
thing.
dance scene, don't get me wrong. It's a really memorable kind of centerpiece moment of the movie, but it is really funny how the screen time gets distributed in this movie because he
But
is
remember his role and the marketing again all feeds into how Act One works
no,
though.
that's true. That's true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's still it's not inaccurate.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But basically, to you again, this movie used every part of the buffalo, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad it hit you as good as it did because I thought there was a chance with the framework that you wouldn't respond to it, but
I mean,
I'm glad you
had it not paid off the way it did, Act One did not like feed into everything the way I hoped it would.
did.
It would have been a problem.
How great was that Matthew Lillard cameo, dude?
Oh, it was great.
Right, right.
I don't care what Tarantino says. We love Matthew
Oh
Lillard.
my god! Oh god! That should have been in the news, dude. You would look, fucking
Well, I
Tarantino.
had to make cuts.
But that wasn't even in your initial cut.
Well, because I knew you. I figured you were gonna throw it out or say, "Oh, we should throw that out."
No, I have stuff to say about that.
Great. Well, you could also volunteer news.
I mean, my look. We'll wrap this up quickly. The one thing I have to say with Tarantino, I think it's very funny that for all his like foot fetish shit, like the thing that actively got him not canceled, but kind of like, like people are turning on him is just him being a dick. Like he brought it on himself,
You
dude.
don't you don't
He brought it
badmouth
on
Matthew
himself.
Lillard. No one badmouths Matthew Lillard. Everyone loves that guy.
Right,
I
right.
love that's like the
And
rallying
Paul
cry.
Dano too. I mean, fucking Paul Dano. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
are we
mean
doing?
Lillard's universally beloved. There could be a lot of people who hate on the Riddler.
No, I get that. Yeah. All right. Okay, so best and worst, really quick, Dragon. What do you got?
Okay, best. I mean, I gotta be honest. I'm kind of torn between. I'm kind of torn between Wake Up Dead Man and Life of Chuck. Life of Chuck made me feel more, so I'm kind of leaning towards Life of Chuck.
Okay.
Worst. I mean, honestly, I didn't really have anything really bad. If I had to say something I mean, Jay Kelly's maybe a little bit more forgettable, but it's not bad. I
Uh,
mean, Aztec Batman would be real. I guess it kind of has to be Aztec Batman. That's not because it's bad, it's because it's not my Batman. It's
for sure,
no.
for sure.
But actually, no. What about even Santa Claus the movie? I guess maybe between those two,
I'd Santa Claus the movie is a fair worst.
probably let's say Santa Claus the movie
We
should be
can
the
respect
bad.
it and still say it's the worst out of what we saw this month. I
There you
can sign off on that.
there you go. All right, what do you got?
So for me, let's see. For best, I mean, people are gonna fucking call me crazy because, like, how can you put this over Hamnet and Marty Supreme and No Other Choice? But I'm sorry, I gotta listen with my heart. Fucking Song Sung Blue really took me away as far as just like being a very inspiring, very moving piece of filmmaking for me. It's nothing too complex. It's nothing too like, it's not breaking new ground when it comes to cinematic techniques or anything. It's just a really, really, really good story with really good performances.
It's trampling new ground.
Worst, as tempted as I am to say Hamnet, just because I do think it's really overhyped. I mean, for me, I gotta go Avatar. Like, I didn't hate Avatar, but it was really disappointing, man. It was really disappointing compared to what I thought it was going to be. All right, so really quick, we have to thank Code Geass, Little Blue, Teddy, and then Sonia Pantoja also popped up a little bit just to give her thoughts on Wicked for Good. So nice to see you. All right, but yeah, you guys are all awesome. Hoping to see a lot of you guys in the new year. Very optimistic about that. And all right, we have waxed on long enough, and it's time to put the pen down. Until next time, we return with another fitting installment in our
Movie
Memoirs. Oh, boo-hoo! William Shakespeare's son died, and it's sad, and we're gonna watch a whole movie about that. Boo-hoo!
Oh, poor Hammy.